Anniversary of an emergency measure giving police new powers. It resulted in the arrest of more than 60,000 suspected gang members.
The state of exception in El Salvador was originally imposed by President Bukele for just 30 days following a weekend of extreme gang violence, which left more than 65 people dead. That was now a year ago, and there's still no sign of the emergency measure being lifted just yet. The controversial security policy under which more than 65,000 people have been arrested is popular with most Salvadorans. But both Salvadoran and international human rights organizations have raised serious concerns about how the peace has been achieved.
The BBC's Will Grant. Officials in Ukraine say 2 people have been killed, 29 others wounded, when Russian forces shelled a city in the partially occupied eastern Donetsk region of the country. News and analysis at townhall.com. Finland is condemning an assault on a Jewish lawmaker as he campaigned for the country's April 2nd general election.
Veteran conservative politician Ben Zyskowicz says a large man confronted him at a metro station in Helsinki and says the man started yelling, blaming the 68-year-old lawmaker for Finland's decision to join NATO. He also hit Zyskowicz in the face and threatened to kill him. Police did apprehend a suspect a few hours later. Finnish President Sauli Niinisto calls the assault a cowardly act. Jason Walker reporting.
On Friday, the Commerce Department will deliver its February snapshot of consumer spending and inflation. The Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index is a gauge of inflation that is closely watched by the Federal Reserve as it considers the future course of interest rates. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah, buddy.
Welcome to it. Hope all of you are having a wonderful morning and had a good weekend.
Indeed.
All starting fresh. Spring break's over.
Yep. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
We were keeping it warm for you.
There you go.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, my wife was yesterday like, oh, I got to go back. Don't want to do it. But yeah, back to work for school for the kids and teachers this week.
Yep.
So you'll get in the groove. I know it's a little rough right now, but you'll get in your groove and be at least back in the swing of things in a few hours.
There's going to be a lot of kids punching pillows this morning.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone had a good weekend.
It was busy.
Yeah.
It was certainly busy. I was trying to did my best to keep the kids as busy as possible this weekend. We did a lot of park time. Had a little get together with some friends on Saturday night, and leave after the little get together on Saturday night. And I get about like a mile and a half down the road, and my car's running a little funny. I'm like, well, it's odd. I know I need an oil change, but that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
I checked the tire that usually runs a little low, and I'm like, okay, it's good. Get to about where the radio station is, because I had to stop in and put in a promo, and I realize I'm driving on a solid flat tire, completely stone cold flat, to the point where I'm not even sure if it was slashed or if the metal from the rim slashed it,
Right.
or by driving over it so many times. But yeah, it's toast.
Oh man.
Yep.
So off to get a new tire.
Luckily, I do have a donut. It actually, I checked this morning. It actually is a functioning donut.
Okay. So after the show, you can put that
eat
on
that and then have some energy to figure out what to do with my car.
go find a replacement
Yeah.
of the donut for the original.
Yes.
Well, that's good. That's good. So at least there's 4 tires.
Yeah.
To move the vehicle. again.
Exactly.
Well, happy Monday. You could be dealing with that. So that could be worse.
It's funny. You realize just how primitive you become when you lose your means of conveyance. Like, I didn't have a vehicle yesterday. I was literally just at the behest of friends and like, can you help a brother out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I had to wait for a ride to get to my car to get things for for the kiddos and stuff. But yep.
Part of it was like, just excuse. I'm going to sit here and do
it's
the
like,
thing all day.
I had a similar moment happen to me. I think it was sometime last year. I had come to work on a Sunday for something. I can't remember if it was like tracking or voice tracking or something, but I had gone to the bathroom here in the office. And when I did, I pulled the door to, forgetting that the door was locked with my keys and my phone still in this office. So at that point, the only option I had was to walk to the Allsups to call Mike to ask him to come down to the office to unlock it so I could get my stuff. But in those moments, I became like a homeless person. I was like walking around like, can someone spare a quarter so I can use the payphone?
I have no place else to go.
You realize just how close you are to just, wow, this could be me.
Yeah, I've had a few. Well, I had one time here where I was here alone at the office. And I had to use the restroom, so went down the hall to use the restroom, but my coat is hanging on my chair like it is.
Right.
And I usually have my keys I left the door open, like physically open. And I think Tanner or Roy or somebody came through and
pulled it too.
And they closed it. And then I came back, I was like, uh-oh. I'm like, uh-oh. And I think I called Tanner. I was like, you still here by chance? You closed the door and I was in the can and
help. Yeah, you tried. Luckily you had your phone on you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I didn't have even a way to communicate with people. I was like, I had to go and ask the lady at the Allsups, can I please use your phone? I swear I'm just calling to have someone open the door.
No, my phone was in my pocket, so I was able to. Fortunately, I don't know what you say, because I was going to spend a longer amount of time in the restroom. The phone would have been my entertainment.
Oh, yeah,
I would have had it, but this was just a pee run. So it was just luckily in my pocket. But yeah, I've had a couple of those moments where like, oh, man. So, well, good. At least you got a spare going and you can get on the road to replacement.
On the road to recovery.
Well, good. Other than that, was it a good weekend?
Yeah, other than that, it was great. Kids had a good weekend. Got to see some friends. It was a good weekend. How about you? How was yours?
Good. I don't know if I'm getting allergies or cold. You can hear me sniffling there. Kim was doing that this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of, this morning I'm thinking maybe it's allergies. But this morning I went, matter of fact, I came in early and then I left to go take some allergy or some Aleve medicine to,
I know they
sniffling.
say that Serena Williams is like the best tennis player in the world.
Yeah.
But I think you and Kim might be the most prolific tennis players in the world. You guys ping pong diseases back and forth between each other.
This is our life, man.
It's insane.
This has been like this for years.
Insane.
It's been like this for years.
Right.
It's just.
Well, you'd think over time your immune system would be like, oh, okay, snap. He married a teacher. We better get our stuff together.
We just she gets all the stuff, brings it home, and then I eventually get it, and here we sit. It's
moms, dads, please encourage your children to wash their hands.
It's just what happens every year. It just I usually have some kind of thing going almost all seems like school year at some point. And couple months here, but I think I got it this morning. My sinuses were being ornery, so there still are. Hopefully, so I apologize for my sniffling. But other than that, it was a good weekend, pretty uneventful. I saw Popeyes is open now, so I have not braved the line.
Now I will say this: we drove by. It looked reasonable because we drove by at about 3:28 yesterday afternoon.
Yeah,
at
about 3:28.
I was driven by, and the drive-through was not. It was only slightly out of the drive-through lane, so it looked manageable. But again, that was in between meal times.
Yeah.
So the chances are that you're going to get to try it is to probably go at like 3:30 on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give it a while. I don't like it was a full month before I visited like the Lone Star or any of that stuff.
I wonder,
Texas Roadhouse, we're going to call it. Yeah.
Did Popeyes like hurt Gene? Did they do something to him? I mean, he's like vehemently against Popeyes.
Yeah.
He was excited about their red beans and rice, and then he just posted a bunch of. I love their red beans and rice. It's like one of my favorite things on their entire menu.
Well, and I do enjoy their food, but it's been so long since I've had it. So I'm hoping it isn't the build it up in your head thing, and then the day finally comes, you're like. That's what I built it up for.
Have you not tried the Popeyes in Artesia?
No, I have not. I haven't had Popeyes in probably 20 years.
So universally, people are bashing the one in Artesia for having bad service and whatever.
Yeah.
I, personally speaking, I had one of the best fast food experiences of my entire life from that Popeyes. I mean, granted, it was a 30-minute wait in the drive-thru, sure.
But you loved it.
But the sandwich made up for it.
Okay.
It was so good.
Well,
I ate it in like under a street light in a hotel parking lot with all the shame that entails.
Shirtless?
Under a blanket so that God wouldn't see my shame,
Oh, well, good. So it was worth the wait.
It was definitely worth the wait.
So, folks, if you are going to brave the lines and you hit the moment where you're like, what am I doing here? Think of this story and say, Sean said it was worth the wait. So I will try it eventually. I just... I'll get there. I haven't had, and that's, I wonder if that's what happened is you build something up so much in your head.
Yeah.
And then you've just outkicked your coverage here, and there's just no way you can meet the expectations that you've created in your head. And so maybe there's a little bit of that. Maybe he is scorned. I do not know.
They hurt him.
Popeye scorned.
He's Popeye scorned.
Eat your spinach.
Quit being wimpy.
Isn't it ironic they don't have a spinach dish?
I feel like that's something they should at least lend an ear, like
at least greens.
Tip a cap to.
At least some greens.
I know it's not the same Popeyes, but you could, tip a cap. Actually,
Popeyes is kind of Louisiana, but it's like a soul food.
Well, fun fact:
greens are part of that.
The restaurant is actually is actually named after Popeye Doyle.
I know it had nothing to do with the Popeye cartoon.
Yeah. It's actually Popeye Doyle from. Is that the French Connection?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
you're right.
Sure.
What's his name?
I couldn't think of it offhand. But the guy from the French Connection who played.
What's his name? The best. Gene Hackman. Thank you. I can't remember Hackman's name for some reason. Yeah. I heard the same thing. I knew it was. Although I remember years ago seeing Popeye's advertisements, and they had the cartoon.
Oh yeah, they
Popeye.
They did like at least tip a cap to it at one point in time.
But I would think they have a spinach dish or at least collard greens.
What they should do is is just for a short run, break out a burger and call it the Wimpy. Even though I know there is a fast food chain called Wimpy Burger.
Available only on Tuesdays?
That's right. And you have to pay in advance.
That's right.
Right.
Actually, I think we just get it for free.
Right.
And eventually we're supposed to pay them. And we never give them the money.
Right.
Or you get it on Monday and you say, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for them.
How tired do you think Wimpy Burger is of that joke? They're like, I left my wallet at home. Can I pay you Tuesday?
And why is it always burgers? There's so many other foods.
Yeah.
Why can't he pay you Tuesday for a chicken sandwich?
Because Wimpy found what he loves. And when you find what you love, stick with it.
I mean, he can afford everything but a cheeseburger.
That's a man that commits. You got to admire that. He commits without actually being able to commit financially, but it's still commitment.
He's got the suit, the hat, the whole deal. You buy all that, can't buy a cheeseburger.
Yeah, at some point in time, Wimpy did have to go into a shop and be like, I'm going to purchase a bowler hat today. Not a burger, just a bowler hat.
I've got a few extra bucks in my pocket. Can buy a hat, or people just give me cheeseburgers. I'll buy the hat.
How many of those suits those same suits does he have?
Yeah, but it is kind of funny. The two foods we know Popeye for, Popeyes don't have.
No, right? Spinach and burgers. Something wrong.
I'm going to start a restaurant that sells nothing but spinach and hamburgers.
Right? Popeyes, the right way.
That's right. The real Popeye. right, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay a couple interviews this hour next. Sheriff Mike Harrington joined us Friday, so we're going to play that conversation with you here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, Amy McVeigh-Tejas joined us last Thursday talking about scholarships, which this is the final week to get those in, so we're going to play that for you here in just in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour this morning, we're going to have Crystal and John Noble join us from wearing their Roswell Seed. John works for Roswell Seed. Crystal talk a lot about Humane Society, but she's going to join us talking about Roswell Seed. And she was in a couple weeks ago talking about bees. If you wanted to get bees and learn the art of raising bees and collecting honey and all that, tis the season, and they're selling bees for a limited time. But that window is fastly closing, so we'll talk with John and Crystal about the bees and Roswell Seed here in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all your features that include the news of the local and national variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do anything else, let's take a gander at that weather.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore with your Pecos Valley weather. It is a tranquil weather pattern in place for most of the week, just a little roller coaster ride with temperatures. Sunny for today for Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. Highs are from the upper 60s to the low 70s, and then we're dropping off from the low to mid 30s for tonight. Sunny for tomorrow and slightly cooler. Highs from the upper 50s to near 60, and then we're right back up into the mid to upper 70s with dry weather Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore.
Thank you, Jennifer. Currently 36 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 40%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Sunny today, upper 60, 67 for a high. Winds will be out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 28 degrees. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Cooler tomorrow, sunny skies, highs near 60. Winds will be out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. That's what I'm liking. I'm not seeing, these crazy wind totals we've been dealing with the last few days. Something more manageable. No complaints from me. Let's see. Tomorrow night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 37. South winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, sunny and highs back into the 80s. 81 on Wednesday with south winds 5 to 10 in the morning. 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Wednesday night, mostly clear and breezy. Overnight low of 47. Thursday, the winds are back and warm temperatures, too, mostly sunny and 85. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low of 48. Winds will be a-blowing as well. For Friday, we're looking at sunny skies and windy with highs near 70. It looks like we'll be mid-70s and sunny Saturday, 86 sunny on Sunday. So a little cooler the first part of the week, warming up for the back half, but bringing the winds with it. All right, it is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. We'll get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. Quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Sheriff Mike Harrington from Friday. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good March run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves and light yearlings and breeding bulls. We expect to sell 900 head, breaking down like this: 100, 125 weighing cows and bulls, 75 to 100 pairs bred cows, 700, 750 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 15 to 20 young cow-calf pairs, 30 to 40 young bred cows, also 15 Angus bulls, excellent quality. Keneally Genetics out of Nebraska. These bulls 15, 16 months old, trick and fertility tested. Very nice bulls. Also 2 Charolais bulls, excellent quality. Bill Sims over at Eunice. They're 2-year-olds, trick and fertility tested. Brand them and turn them out. 36 good Holstein whey cows off one dairy. 34 calves, Mr. J.B. Runyon, Hope, New Mexico. Ex-quality Black Angus and Brangus crossbreds, 400, 550 pounds. 39 calves, Mr. Danny Montoya over at Daddle, New Mexico. Ex-quality Black White-Face Angus crosses. These cattle are 400, 600 pounds. 60 calves, light yearlings, Guadalupe Mountain Farm, Sierra Blanca, Texas. Ex-quality Black White-Face and Charolais crossbred calves, 450 450, 650 pounds. At 40K is Mr. Herman Ortiz, Mesilla Park, New Mexico. Excellent quality black white face cross calves, 350, 550 pounds. Sale time this morning will be 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 9:45 to 10. We will sell the breeding bulls near 11 a.m. and could be selling calves and yearlings about 10:30. We expect to sell 900 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
At Artesia General Hospital, we want to help you feel better faster. And when prescribed by your provider, IV therapy can be one of the quickest ways to help you feel well again. Our infusion center services include antibiotic or allergen therapies, blood transfusions, and medication infusions for chronic conditions like Crohn's disease and osteoporosis. Whether you choose care at the clinic or hospital, you can expect a highly skilled staff and a private, safe setting with your comfort in mind. Referrals and appointments are required. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/infusion.
You're invited to the Arts and Crafts Fair, happening April 1st and 2nd at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center, presented by Jane and Paul Navarez. Find a wide variety of handmade arts and crafts. Over 40 artist booths will be on hand, and many food trucks will be there to satisfy any food cravings. The partner charity for this year's craft fair is the Pecos Valley Public Service Search and Rescue Team. Entry is just $2. Children 12 and under are free. The Arts and Crafts Fair, April 1st and 2nd, 10 to 5 Saturday, 10 to 4 Sunday at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-503-3735. 800-503-3735. 800-503-3735. That's 800-503-3735.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 26 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio again, he's gonna. We just got an office for him here at the.
That's right. That's right.
Chavis County Sheriff Mike Harrington with us this morning. Back with us this morning.
Yes.
Of course, yesterday it was. Thank you, Danielle. She's great.
She is
person.
great.
She does. If you're a vet. Yep. You're in Chavis County or Lincoln County, you need to know her on a first name basis.
Well, I can tell you, trying to do everything through the website or through anything else other than going through them, it is the most difficult website, and it seems like it's one of those mazes that you go through that you always end up back at the beginning again.
And I think it's by design a little bit. I think they do it to weed people.
Out.
So let Danielle help you. I guarantee you. First calls to her, and then you'll save a lot of headache on your part.
Yes, I agree. So
but yesterday, I mean, of course, for folks that were tuning in yesterday, we were talking. We had Nathaniel Tavares in, the young man who was one of the victims of the Berendo shooting.
Yep.
That was 9 years ago, and so and I've been telling people in the last 24 hours, everyone's been talking to me about that interview. I'm like, I'm so impressed with that young man.
Me
first
too.
time I met. Have you met him before?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I never got a chance to really meet him before yesterday, and it was I was blown away by that young man. So.
I knew him before this tragedy, and also now after, and my son played in Little League sports with him. And,
so see, that's small town, man.
Yes, and so everyone who was involved in that school shooting, I knew everybody.
Yeah.
The female that was involved, Kendall, was at that time, the one of my deputies. That was his granddaughter.
Oh, okay.
So
my wife taught her in second grade at Brendo or elementary. So
so I've known them all, every one of them.
Small town, isn't it?
Yeah, every one of them that were involved. So
But impressive young man. If you didn't get a chance to hear our interview yesterday, go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what that man does. I'd love to see where he's at in 10 years and just seeing the cool things that he's done in that time. So I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of them.
The one thing that I talked to him and we were talking, and what I see is it's taken a while to come out and finally start to share this event.
Sure.
Of what has occurred in his life since then.
Well, a lot of emotion was involved.
A lot of emotion, and but it's facing your fears, and he's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's doing it with flying colors.
He's doing
It's
it with
amazing.
flying colors.
He's an amazing kid.
That's one of the things that I'm very thankful for him doing this, because I'm telling you, I live in this community, and I've been here, and before all that stuff was going on, I was doing How to Survive an Active Shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I still do a lot of that now. But one of the things that I'm just amazed at is that there's people here that don't even know about that shooting.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing, but people have just forgot.
Sure. Well, time does that.
Time does that. And for me, it's we're so lucky, and I use the word lucky, that nothing else has happened here in Roswell, because it's going on all around us every day.
And something we really didn't get a chance to talk about especially with Brian Luck in yesterday, but the protocols, like as sheriff, you see it, but I mean, how the school district and how people approach school buildings and do things 9 years later is night and day different than it was back when that shooting took place. And so when we look at those events, what you see now in today's classroom is kind of a result of that incident there.
And that's one thing that I can say. We are learning, but the hardest problem with this type of situation is figuring out who is going to be the suspect.
Absolutely.
Or the person that comes in and does this, because this is your average everyday person. This isn't a person usually with mental illnesses or anything else.
Sure.
This is somebody who
snapped. Yep. It's something the world we live in, it's hard on everybody, and
it really is.
And some people are equipped to deal with it. Yep. Others aren't, and we're seeing the result of what's happening there. So I mean, we talk mental health because and that's, but and I don't want to get political here, but we talk about guns and we talk about, and my opinion is, you can put all the restrictions you want on a gun, but if you don't fix hearts, it don't matter none. It don't matter none, and that's what you got to fix is hearts and minds. Yeah. Everything else you're talking about is Band-Aids. Yeah. And until we realize that, we're going to continue to have these problems.
It's like one of the things that we see here in Roswell. The gun isn't always the weapon used. It's anything that is there. So it can be a telephone cord.
Sure.
It can be your spoon you're eating your cereal with. It can be your hands. It can be anything.
Look at London.
Yep, absolutely.
London, guns are outlawed. Even the cops don't carry them.
That's right.
But how many times you see mass stabbings?
Yes,
stabbings.
Exactly.
A mass stabbing. Yeah.
And that's more of a personal type of an attack.
Yeah.
And and for us, we know right now in this country we have failed with the mental health issues. We have great people out there who are great psychologists and have great buildings and great offices, but the problem that we have is getting those who have mental health problems to those facilities.
Well, right now it's like throwing a penny in a well. I mean,
it really is.
Or we did something about it. Yeah, but really that doesn't cut the. As I said yesterday, and I've said 1,000 times, we need to Susan G. Komen mental health, and
we do.
Have our walk for hopes and things like that for mental health. That's what we need.
Well, we have, like I said, and this is something I said yesterday, and I'll say it again. We have retirement homes for people who have gotten older who can't care for themselves, and we need to do the same thing for those who have mental illnesses that cannot care for themselves. We've got to get them there. In Roswell, New Mexico, right now, we have individuals who cannot stand trial because they are not mentally competent.
Yeah.
And while they're not competent to stand trial, they're still committing crimes, and usually against people, continuously within our community, and it is a revolving door for them.
Sure. And you get it that you're like, I understand that they can't understand what they're doing, but at the same time, that doesn't make me as a victim any less understanding. I got hurt by a person. I don't care that they don't understand what they did. They still did it.
And this is what I believe. I believe that in a sense, because we have no place to put those individuals and to keep them from harming other individuals or committing crime, because of their mental status, that you're going to cause a individual who is protecting himself or his family to have to kill somebody and live with that the rest of their life.
Absolutely.
Because we failed as a state, we failed as a country to protect you from the mentally ill.
And we've got, and of course, because of how we treated the mentally ill prior to this, with the mental asylums and things like that.
I don't want that again.
And so what you're talking about that's needed scares people because they think what you're talking about is going back to that. I'm like, no. That's the archaic. We want the modern version of that. We want them where there's a facility to help them, but not using the tactics they used back then, not isolation, not just putting them in a room and forgetting about them. Let's get medical people working with them and helping them and maybe getting to a point where they can be independent.
Can be released. But what we have now is we have a facility where we take them in for a 72-hour hold. And while they're there, they're given their medication, they're stabilized, and then they're released after 72 hours because that's all you can hold them for.
Sure.
And now once they get out, now they say, hey, go see this doctor on this day.
And they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
And the reason for it is, one, they're just not mentally capable of doing it. Two, they fear what's coming.
Right.
They don't know either.
Yeah, they think they're going to get locked up, put away, or be told they're a menace to society and we'll never see them again.
And they just don't know.
Not to mention if they're an addict on drugs or alcohol because that's what they're trying to treat their mental health with. Yeah. They're thinking that you're taking my drugs away. And so it's a cocktail of, no, thank you. You know, and so you release them and you think, oh, we'll see you on the 25th. Yeah, right. We'll never see that. Until they get arrested again, we'll never see them.
Right. And the bad part is we arrested them so often. The same people over and over and over. This is one thing that I try to really convince our community. We live in a great community. It's the same people, 20, maybe 30, maybe 40 people that are continuously causing problems that are going in and out of the jail. It's like it's like going to a hotel all the time you go to. They're like, come on in, John. They get you done.
Frequent flyers.
Yeah, they already know them. They get them done. They get them off. Everything is in the system already. It's so easy, and then they're back out and they do it again.
It's not a joke, but it's not a joke.
It's not.
That, and we've talked about it a couple of times. The day I did that ride-along a couple of years ago, there was a young man who was turning himself in because I don't remember. He was wanted for I don't remember the circumstances, But this guy is so used to the system that he came in with like 6 underpants on. He already had his orange shirt on. It was like he was going away to summer camp, and he was. And he knew all the lingo, the whole thing. Like, just me. If I was turning myself in, I would have never, because I've never. And this guy was just like, oh, I got another stint at the joint. I better bring my 6 pairs of underwear. And
you can't have them brought in.
And to me, I was just like, this is not a good thing that you're this well versed on how to be processed into the.
That's what we're dealing with over and over. And so I can tell you that we're dealing with individuals that are continuously committing crimes that are considered not mentally fit or able to stand trial. And so they get out and they do it again. And they do it again. And they do it again. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a citizen of Chaves County is going to end up killing them, protecting themselves or their family. And they're going to be justified in doing it.
Sure.
But to live with that the rest of your life is going to be... But that's because I'm telling you, I'm in this position. I see it, and I believe that the United States of America, the state of New Mexico, the legislators have failed the people of this country and of this state to the point where they are causing individuals more mental health issues because they've had to kill somebody.
Well, and it's, we're just wrapping up a legislative session, and the thing that I'm kind of most frustrated about this session, because let's face it, this whole 2 months they've been talking about how much money we've got, how they've got, where are we going to spend all this money? I didn't hear a lot of talk about major mental health and investing in that, and I'm like, all we keep talking about is stupid bridges or stupid spaceports and things, and I'm like, why aren't we talking about revamping and revitalizing the mental health system in this state?
I agree.
And invest it so maybe it'll help our courts, it'll help our law enforcement, it'll help our medical facility. We're overrun with problems in all these sectors.
I believe you deal with that mental health, and you come at it with everything you've got.
Yeah.
We're going to solve all kinds of other issues up to and including our active shooters.
Yeah.
Because mental health is a part of that, of your snapping, and all of a sudden something has gone on in your life that you have not been able to go talk to anybody. And the other big thing right now is people are afraid to go to a counselor or to go to somebody because if they go in there and they say something,
is it a black mark against them?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And no matter what you believe in this world, confidentiality is only as good as the person you're talking to.
And there's still, I don't care what anybody says, there's still that stigma on mental health.
That's right.
We're way better than we were 20 years ago, but when somebody is dealing with that, and there's still the circles like, so-and-so went off the edge, now they're in counseling, and they're not right in the head, and then everyone walks on eggshells around them, and who knows? In certain circles that now all of a sudden they're not seeing a promotion anymore. They're not seeing those things. That's still commonplace in this country, and I don't care what anybody says, it does happen.
And then your mental health people are now, call this number and talk to this person. There's no personal side of this.
Sure.
And
it's passing the buck on to the next person.
That's all it is. And when you're talking to the phone, you're not getting the human side of it. And I just don't know. I don't know what's
I mean, it's better
on.
than nothing, but it's certainly It's certainly not the fix.
No, it's an immediate.
It's
Band-Aid.
another Band-Aid.
It's a Band-Aid. It's an immediate Band-Aid. But we've got to do something to where they got to get in and talk to people, and they've got to do some things. But more importantly, we have to be able to house in a place like a retirement home those who are seriously threat to our community.
Someplace where law enforcement and hospitals and other professionals, instead of saying, here, we got an appointment for you on the 27th, come back then. No, we can take them to the treatment facility where we can sober them up.
That's right.
Probably they're going to be intoxicated or drugged out or something. Right. So we can A, detox them, and then B, let's get them the actual services, get them in touch, physically put them in front of the people that are going to help them instead of giving them a card and saying, call this number or meet here on such and such a date. No. You're sitting here and we're going to be here for at least a few days till we figure out what's best for you next.
Right. Well, it's like a drunk driver. You people comment all the time on my pages, Facebook page, whenever they say, well, that guy's already been arrested once. Well, that guy's already been arrested twice.
Yeah.
We've seen him here just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is they've got an alcohol problem. They're alcoholics. They've got an alcohol
and they're
issue.
feeding that addiction.
And so when you put them in jail, they're there till they sober up. Then they get out. Now they're depressed about being arrested. Now they're depressed. Maybe they lost their job.
Yep.
Now they start drinking again. They still got their car. They're going to drive, and we arrest them again. There is no immediate fix.
Yeah. Shoot, how many times are they in jail and they're like, I can't wait to get out. I'm going to go hit the bars as soon as I get out of here. And that's
so,
what they do.
Yeah. And the majority of people who are arrested for DWI, they don't get arrested again. They try to change their ways. But there's those individuals that we just don't know.
Sure, they're addicts and they're doing a mental health. Yeah. And everything they're doing in their life at that moment is to meet those needs. Absolutely. And anything that stops them from doing that is considered a problem.
That's right.
And so we need to get in there and help them understand there's other things to go for than the highlight of your day should not be scoring your drugs or scoring your liquor. The highlight of your day should be doing something good with your day.
And you know what's crazy to me is you have people on Facebook and they'll come on, they'll say, I can't believe you're arresting people for driving under the influence of marijuana, under the influence of alcohol. Why are you not out arresting, or those who are on medications for whatever? Why are you not out arresting criminals?
I'm doing that too.
Well, you understand that what you're doing is against the law.
Sure.
And it's called breaking the law or committing a crime, which makes you a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen people die at the hands of these individuals driving
Absolutely.
drunk or under medications or whatever.
So we pulled this person over because they were buzz driving or drunk driving or
Yeah.
whatever, and you're like trying to trivialize that. And it's like, what happens if we didn't catch this person and then 2 miles up the road they wrap that car around someone else's car or into someone's home or someone's building, and then you're going to be yelling at the sheriff's department because they let this clown just run around town.
You know,
and so it's what are we going to do? And it's like, so we've got to. You're right. Maybe this person has a problem. We just got to hope that this wake-up call, this arrest, this whatever, if they put an ignition lock on their car, whatever penalties they get for their driving under the influence, hopefully that's the wake-up call to say, maybe I should seek help here with with their family as well. Their family coming in and saying, dude, this is your third DUI. At what point are you either going to kill somebody or kill yourself? Your car. Or you're going to realize maybe you need to address this problem. You know,
we need to
this is the tools we have to try to wake people up. And until there's a different way to do it, which I don't see how we would do that, because at the end of the day, we have to protect people. And yes, you have the right in things, and we want to make sure you're within your rights when something wrong happens. But we can't forget the victim's rights. And to be honest, your rights are just as important as the victim's rights. We cannot choose one or the overs. You know, when we at the end of the day, law enforcement doesn't have that luxury. The rights of the victim are equal as the rights of the offender. That's right. And that's why they treat it that way. So if you don't like the fact that you're getting arrested, you shouldn't have done it in the first place, because that person that you endangered has just as much right to live their life peacefully as you do trying to do yours.
You know, we have criminal law and we have civil law.
Yeah.
And one of the things I believe is that the mental health issue should fall under civil. And what I mean that is that we have abilities to put kind of like evictions and other things where a judge can give a court order and say, okay, we're going to take you out of this house and give it back to the owner. I believe that should be done the same way with a person who has a mental illness and says, look, you're not being charged criminally, but you're going to be held civilly, which means that you're going to have to go schedule appointments, you're going to go see counselors, you're going to report back to the court to show that you are completing these things. And then if we ever do get a facility or a place, it shows the progress before you can be released from that. Kind of like a work, you know, when a person gets out of prison and they go into a halfway house. You know, where you're saying, hey, you're not going to
transition them back into society.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah.
And that's what we need. We need to have more hands-on stuff. And, you know, Albuquerque and some of these other places have psychologists riding around with the police officers. That's a great thing.
Sure.
The only problem is the county is paying the psychologists $50 to $60 an hour or whatever it is, and the police officer's making $21 an hour. You know, so the counselor gets out after the problem has already been dealt with,
right?
And now he's dealing with this. It's hard to keep an officer in that mindset.
Absolutely.
Of, hey, you know, hey, this guy's making twice as much as I am.
And he's sitting right next to me.
Right next to me, and I'm doing all the work.
Yeah.
But you know, in the end, the counselor thing is a great thing.
Sure.
And the moral of that story is pay the police officers more, and let's get some counselors out there. In
Absolutely.
The cars.
Make it so it's commiserate to both people in that vehicle. It's worth their money and time to be doing that.
But we've seen that, and you know.
Well, yeah. At the end of the day, you know, that law enforcement officer, they're not taking pot shots at the psychiatrist. They're taking pot shots at the.
He's waiting in the car until it's over, and then he comes out. But the whole thing about it is, I am so thankful for those people who are still going into that line of work.
Yeah.
Because right now we are seeing a slide of people wanting to work, period.
Sure.
And, you know, you see your pharmacist, you see all these other positions.
People like getting paid not to work.
Yeah, that's right.
They're trying to figure out how to keep that going.
And they want to go to work where they don't have to go to school.
Yeah.
So if you have a job that's going to take you 8 years to get your degree, they don't want that.
No.
And so the number of people who are coming out into that is we're blessed to have them, but It's like I was saying yesterday in that deal. When you have a marriage counselor and you're talking to a marriage counselor, you want a marriage counselor who's been through not only a not so good marriage, but a great marriage now, so they can say, look, this is what I was going through. This is now what I did to change it, and things are great.
I made the mistakes, and now I've done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the people you want to talk to. And, and that's, for me, that's the kind of people I like seeing even come on as police officers. People who have lived and seen life.
It can understand the perspective of some of the people you're dealing with on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And then when they come out, they're like, you know what? I've seen this.
Well,
I've been,
and it makes better law enforcement officers.
It really
I don't
does.
care what
makes you more personable.
Again, going back to the on patrols, I watched one episode a couple months ago, and just talking, and it was one with an officer who was actually talking down a suicide victim, a person who was trying to contemplating suicide, and talked him down literally off a bridge, and the amazing work of that police officer talking and everything else. That I think that is proof of exactly what you're talking about. When you get those type of people that have lived a little bit, walked a mile, when they get to those scenarios, when they've got someone on the edge, they can relate to that person where none of us could. And you saw that on display in that particular scenario. And I think that was the perfect example of why you do what you do.
Yep, exactly.
When it comes to law.
And that's why I believe it is so important to hire local individuals to be your police, because it is personal.
Yeah.
You know everybody. It's like me in this community in Chaves County. I know everybody, it seems like, And one thing that I do is I treat you like a person, but more importantly, whenever you're going through hard times, I can say, you know what? I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've done that. And as an example to that, look at where I'm at, because I'm trying to show you can make it through all of that stuff. If you could just see some of the things that I went through in my life and say, God almighty, I'm surprised he's here.
I have no business walking around here right now. Yeah.
And because of family things, what family has done, just living your life and seeing the things that you've seen, you can get past it, but you're the only one who's in control of that. And that's one thing that I tell these guys that I'm bringing on to hire. I said, listen, we're a team here, but you are the one who's going to have to make yourself go through that door.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to be the one who steps up to the plate and takes this on personally.
Absolutely.
And
and by default, as a law enforcement officer, you take that entire reputation of the police department. So when you are out in the street and you do good things, the entire police department wins, because everyone thinks, man, the cop. But when there's that one officer who does something bad, guess what? It besmirches the entire. Because now people start thinking, I saw one, that means they're all like that.
Well,
and that's not farther from the truth. But it's to that point you're talking about. When you talk to these young officers, it's like, unfortunately, you are now. You're the spotlight. You're the glass house, and everything you do is going to reflect good, well or poorly on the department, and that's just the way it is.
But if you treat people like people, you're going to be a success in this job,
and that's
in life actually.
And that's what you learn. And I've noticed whenever you talk with a sheriff deputy, in a scenario that's not just, hey, how you doing?
Right.
It's generally that personal touch. That it's literally like I've seen enough of those go down where it looks literally just like a bunch of. Yeah. If you didn't see uniforms on, a bunch of just pals hanging out talking.
Yeah, that's right.
A minute, you know.
That's right.
One thing I wanted to ask a little bit about before we go, because we got a little bit of time. One thing that popped up in the news yesterday, I guess the sheriff's department, y'all found a body.
Yes, we did.
What is there any information or any updates we can give on that one yet?
So right now, because we still haven't notified the family, we can't give any names or anything. But one thing that I will say is that. And it goes back to the mental health issues and things like that. When we see people wandering around aimlessly, kind of like our homeless and things like that, we are trying our hardest to get them the help that they can get.
Sure.
But in the end, they still make the decisions they make.
So at this point, is it like, was it an old body or was it a recent? Was it like, so was it?
It was immediate. It was almost.
But I guess, I mean, do you guys think this person was killed out there or just was?
No, she was killed there.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like a thing happened, wandered out there and died, or so someone murdered them and put them out there, or okay.
So
that's what I was trying to find out. Is it a criminal thing or just
actually took her out there and killed her?
Okay, so it is a criminal thing. And more investigations.
So
are going on.
our investigation is ongoing.
Okay,
we are interviewing people and. But until the family's notified, we can't really say too much.
Sure. I just kind of saw things saying there was a body found, but I didn't hear any details. I'm like, was it like a cold case? They just drove by and saw an old body sitting in the ditch somewhere? Or was
No, she was right up by the road.
Or got left out there and then died from the elements. I didn't know what but it was a murder. And
so she was bound and shot.
Just, I know details, but do they think it happened there or happened somewhere else and brought there?
Right there.
Okay. Interesting. Man.
Right there. So... and she was tied up. So
I think it was like a gang thing, or
don't know.
Still learning.
So we're still learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
law enforcement do their job. We're hoping and praying for everybody involved in that.
Fantastic.
I was just kind of curious because I didn't know if this was just hey, we just found a body, or no, we got a little bit story behind this. Okay.
She was tied up and she was killed right there.
Younger?
So she was shot right there. So and this is a person who we all know.
It's a shame.
And
hate to see this stuff.
So me too. And it goes back to show you, and you think, my God, what this person could have never done nothing to nobody.
Well, it's just like when I was talking with Nathaniel yesterday, and I was talking with him, I was like, I'm so amazed he's not mad because I got to be honest, when I hear his story, and if I'm in that shoes, I think I'd be a bitter, angry kid. Man.
Oh yeah,
it's
well, and that's what I'm saying, and that's what's good about him, and. This next week, we're going to the schools, the middle schools.
Yeah, he's going to be talking in the middle schools.
Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Some of the department will be hanging out and being a part of that.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be a part of that. And, and like I said, the one thing that I want to get out there to people is don't be upset when a person is telling their story, because the story is going to hit home for somebody, and it's going to make somebody say, you know what, this individual is going through the same thing. We can do this, or we can maybe prevent this from ever happening again.
You hear the terms "never forget." This is why we do this, and what Nathaniel's doing, and what people like him are doing. That by doing what they do, they're reminding folks that, look, we got to be cognizant of this, so we make sure that this doesn't happen again at another school or happen in another place. I mean, yes, we all know we live in a world now where these school shootings are. Sad but commonplace. Like you turn on the news and you're almost like, another school shooting. What's for dinner tonight?
But even go into even to some of the high schools right now, and middle schools and down, but even high schools, you go in and say, how many of you know about 9/11? And they're all like, that's the number you dial to call the police.
Yeah.
They forgot because they never have been. It hasn't been reminded.
Sure.
And we as a country right now are like ostriches. It's better to put your head in the sand than it is to address what is going on around you.
Sure, it's the easiest.
It's the easy way
path
out.
of least resistance right now.
But the only way we can change things is never forget.
Absolutely.
And
we need to be reminded of these, and we need to see good people like Nathaniel and see that they've survived this, and see that we can avoid it, so there's not the next generational kid that's doing what Nathaniel's going to be doing for the rest of his life.
Exactly. Well, I want to say this real quick. I got 4 guys in the academy who are going to graduate.
Awesome.
Here coming up in May.
Good luck to them as they finish up.
Absolutely. And then also I have more guys who we're hiring on. We're still hiring.
So they'll be. Some of these will be going to the academy, assuming they can pass the other stuff.
So they passed everything so far.
Good.
But every Thursday we're now testing out at the track.
All right.
We fill out an application, apply with the sheriff's office.
If someone's listening and they think this is the path for their future,
absolutely. And
please
I'm telling
reach out.
We need good people to be good police officers and deputies.
It is a hard job. No one's not going to lie to you and sit there and tell you it's all sunshine and rainbows. But as far as if you want to have a job where you know that at the end of the day you made a difference in the community, and you feel that need to want to help people, you're going to be very well rewarded as a career as a law enforcement officer.
So
but you're going to have your hard days, and you got to have some mental fortitude here because you're going to be dealing with people in their absolute worst and trying to bring them some resolution, and that's not an easy job for everyone to do. And so, but if you are a person that loves to serve, that loves to help, and loves to make sure that people are taken care of, that's the kind of attitude that you want to be a sheriff's deputy.
Yep, absolutely. So apply at traviscounty.gov, and we will be glad to bring you out and test you and get you on board.
And it is a lot of fun. I mean, you get a lot of cool toys and a lot of
great people.
I don't care what you say. You're in there at the gun range blowing stuff up. That's fun. I don't care what anybody says.
And like I said, the satisfaction of just going out there and serving people is the main.
It is. It's a great
the main reward, really.
You're gonna have hard days, but that day when you save someone's life, or you provided resolution to someone that felt like they weren't going to get any, then you know what, you're gonna feel on cloud nine and be like, this is why I'm a law enforcement officer.
Bring open ears and mouth shut. And
there you go.
You're going to do great.
Absolutely.
So it's good.
Well, thank you, Sheriff, as always. Appreciate it. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks.
You sure will.
Tell all your deputies we're praying, keep them safe, and thank them for them. And all law enforcement, all of our agencies here. Just we appreciate these folks and all that. So
weather's getting better, so that's a great thing.
Weather's nicer. It means people going outside, maybe
coming out,
which is good and bad.
Yeah.
Put it this way, kids: if you're going to have a party out in the middle of nowhere, we will find out about it. You guys are awful at hiding them.
Yeah. We'll know.
The deputies will know probably because y'all share it on Facebook and do all kind of dumb stuff. So don't do that, and that way you don't have to worry about it.
So
we got to go. It's 10 o'clock.
Okay.
You listen to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Sheriff, we'll see you next time.
You bet. Thank you so much.
Think I'm kidding? Call a few window companies and see for yourself. Or you can skip the sales gangsters and call Trustmark. We have fair, no-nonsense pricing on our premium windows, and our appointments take only about 60 to 75 minutes. Just long enough to listen to what you need, show you your options, answer your questions, and give you a straightforward quote. Then it's up to you. We can take a no just as easy as a yes, but I'll guarantee you this: no sales gangsters. Sound fair? Call Trustmark Roofing and Windows for your no-obligation spring window assessment. 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Cleanup is underway this morning in Mississippi, where tornadoes took a deadly toll over the weekend. At least 25 fatalities, along with dozens of injuries. President Biden approved a major disaster declaration, while Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves declared a state of emergency. With the recovery of 2 more bodies and the rubble of a chocolate factory that exploded in Berks County, Pennsylvania, authorities believe that all of the victims have been accounted for. The death toll from Friday's explosion in West Reading is 7, with 10 people injured. There is ongoing turmoil in Israel amid growing resistance to Prime Minister Netanyahu's plan to overhaul the country's judicial system. Protesters have been turning out in droves.
We're here to fight for our democracy. We don't need to sleep. We don't need to do anything but speak up our voice, because we have one, and that's our goal.
Our Prime Minister lost his mind. We have to be here for our country.
Those demonstrators talking with the BBC. Israel's largest trade union group has launched a strike, and departing flights from the country's main international airport have been grounded. First Citizens Bank has gotten a green light to acquire troubled Silicon Valley Bank.
The FDIC said in a statement late Sunday that the transaction involves the sale of all deposits and loans of SVB to First Citizens. The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank rattled the banking industry and led the FDIC and other regulators to act to protect depositors to prevent wider financial turmoil. SVB, based in Santa Clara, California, failed on March 10th after depositors rushed to withdraw money amid fears about the bank's health. It was the second largest bank collapse in U.S. history. I'm Norman Hall.
And Wall Street having a good day so far. The Dow's up 215 points. The Nasdaq trading 57 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Public transit is ground to a halt across much of Germany as labor unions stage a one-day strike. They're demanding higher pay.
It's rare for pay disputes in Germany to escalate so dramatically, but two of the country's largest unions, which are demanding significant pay rises for their workers, want to increase the pressure on employers ahead of another round of negotiations. So they've come together for today's action, which will bring the country to a near standstill. There'll be all but no trains, planes or ferries in operation after workers walked out shortly after midnight. And motorists have been warned that staff who maintain motorways and repair road damage after accidents are also on strike.
The BBC's Jenny Hill. Ukraine's government calling for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council to counter the Kremlin's nuclear blackmail after Russian President Putin revealed plans to station tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus. News and analysis at townhall.com. It is the best show in town, and all you have to do is look up.
5 planets, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Uranus, and Mars, will line up near the moon, and the best day to catch the whole group is Tuesday. You'll want to look in the western horizon right after sunset when the planets will stretch from the horizon line to around halfway up the night sky, but don't be late. Mercury and Jupiter will quickly dip below the horizon around a half hour after sunset. The 5-planet spread can be seen from anywhere on Earth as long as you have clear skies and a view of the west. And you'll probably need to grab a pair of binoculars, too. Ron DeRockstra reporting.
A helicopter crash has claimed the lives of 2 Baton Rouge, Louisiana police officers. There's been no word yet on the cause of the crash, which is under investigation. The helicopter went down in a field early yesterday morning. The Baton Rouge police chief requesting prayer for officers and the families of those who were lost. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday. Hope it's going swimmingly well.
Yeah.
For you.
Just over here making body sounds. Me yawning.
Stretching. Creaking.
Yeah.
All kinds of noises.
You always know you get a good stretch when you pop the sternum right here when you feel like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Now I get neck. Like
yeah.
I do that. And I can do that move. I could do that now as I get older.
Oh, I just got one. Just one.
Yeah.
chiropractors are listening right now. Like, no.
Yeah. Well, happy Monday. Hope it's a good one for you. By the way, we had a bevy of folks tune in for the Golden Gloves boxing over the weekend.
Big event.
Thousands from across the world.
From across the world, yeah. It wasn't just here in these United States. We had people from like Mumbai watching.
Yeah. Well, buy that.
Yeah.
In Colorado.
Nagasaki. Not gonna say nothing bad about that.
Kansas.
Kansas. Topeka.
No, we did
Oxnard, Virginia.
California.
Yeah, California.
Right. But yeah, we had a bunch of people, so thank you for tuning in. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the 3 full days of amateur boxing
action.
Hopefully folks packed the gym out there on the weekend too and got out there. But
yeah, from what I heard, it was a pretty good crowd.
So hopefully we'll see some more boxing in our future here in Roswell, thanks to that event. So if you missed it, you can go back and check it out, ksvptv.com. Just right there, you'll find your own boxing channel. All there for you to check out at your leisure.
And congratulations to all the winners and to all of the competitors at the Golden Globes. Just know that ice is readily available at any convenience store in Roswell to ice up your face.
Cut me, Mick, cut me. That's one of my favorite line. Cut me. Can't watch it because it's gross.
Oh, it's so rough. Yeah.
But it was a big success. So glad to hear. So those that weren't in line waiting for chicken were out watching boxing.
Well, maybe you fit both in. Get yourself a nice chicken Sammy and some boxing.
What are you doing this weekend? I'm going to watch some fighting and eat some chicken. That's what I'm going to do.
It's going to be a good weekend, Tater.
Oh, man. So I haven't finished watching the latest episode of Mandalorian. But I watched a part of it. I was an episode and a half behind, and then I haven't finished that one episode.
Right.
I tend to stop halfway, and I'll wait till the next one, then catch it all up. But they're giving expect to pay for more money for Star Wars merchandising. Because spoiler, this episode of The Mandalorian, they're giving Grogu or Baby Yoda, whatever his name is,
Grogu
armor.
He's getting armor?
He got his first piece of armor, Mandalorian armor.
A little piece of Beskar.
Yeah, so...
Dude, I don't know who Pedro Pascal's agent is. That dude is everywhere.
He's hot right now.
He is a hot commodity, man.
Yeah, well, he's been an actor for years.
Yeah, for sure, but he's struck hot. It's like, I say the same thing about, and I just, literally her name just escaped my head. Stifler's mom. What's her name? Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
She's in everything right now.
She's got a hot series with...
White Lotus.
Yeah, that one.
But she's also in, and we've had this conversation literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But she was in 2 movies I just recently saw. She's doing a commercial campaign.
Same thing with T-Mobile or one of those. Yeah.
Same thing with Pedro Pascal. He's doing commercials all over the place and 3 series right now.
The part I'm digging about Pedro Pascal now is I'm seeing a bunch of clips where he had bit parts in movies from the 90s, and you're seeing the young Pedro Pascal and you're like, that was that guy in that movie? I didn't realize that was Pedro Pascal. Right. You're like, oh, that's that guy for that movie.
You know what's funny is that sort of happened for my generation, sort of.
Yeah.
When Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out.
The game?
Yes, the game. Because Ray Liotta is the main voice of the game.
Yes.
And a lot of people were like, who's this Ray Liotta? My generation, who's this Ray Liotta guy? We kind of went back and found.
They hadn't seen Goodfellas.
Yeah, a lot of people in my generation hadn't seen, a lot of who he was. And so we went back and that was kind of, at least I'm speaking from my personal perspective. That's what it was like for me, was rediscovering a whole human being's career.
Well, Ray Liotta, he passed away, what, has it been 2 years yet?
I think it's only been a year.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was, his last movie just came out, Cocaine Bear, which... What a bummer.
Well, that's the thing.
For that to be your swan song.
But in all fairness, Ray Liotta kind of went off the map for a few years. And I ain't seen Ray, there was Goodfellas, and then there was a couple other movies, and then for a good 10 years, he kind of was under the radar. And then he started popping back up, in the last 3 years. And now I've seen more Ray Liotta dead than I've seen Ray Liotta when Ray Liotta was with us. I cannot not see Ray Liotta in things. He pops up on Young Sheldon. He pops up on... Yeah, he has a cameo in Young Sheldon. I was watching over the weekend, and there's a cameo where Sheldon's grandma is at some casino in Vegas
playing, and then I guess she owes some mafia type money, and it's Ray Liotta,
right?
And I guess it's an old debt, and then she wins. Spoiler alert: she wins at the slot machine and leaves him catching all the coins, and then so much for Ray Liotta. But I'm sitting there watching TV, I'm like, dang, there's Ray Liotta again. Just pops up and he's on. Yeah.
Do you think maybe he like knew something was coming and he was trying to like get money in order for his family or something?
I guess. I just know
doing a lot of projects lately.
He kind of dropped off the face of the earth, and then Ray Liotta showed up all of a sudden.
What's the project? Cocaine Bear? Fine.
Well, and he started doing them. Was it Chantix or Chantix?
Chantix?
Yeah, whatever. To quit smoking.
Yeah.
The drugs to quit smoking. He did that, and that kind of brought him back into the spotlight a little bit, and gave him such fares as, I'm guessing, Cocaine Bear. But I saw a joke on Netflix. There's a meme, and it was a couple polar bears, and it said Netflix polar bears. Wait till the panda bear one comes out. That'll be a hit. Or koala bear. That'll be a good one. So. Or Berenstein.
Yeah.
Berenstein.
The Cocaine Berenstain.
Written by Nelson Mandela. But just crowbar like 16 different weird things in one conversation. But anyway, happy Monday. We're going to play our interview with Amy McVeigh-Tejas this hour. She joined us last Thursday talking about scholarships, which, by the way, this is your final week to get your applications turned in for their scholarship. She'll talk all about that in the conversation we're going to play here in just a minute. But if you didn't do it during spring break last week, then you're going to have to figure it out this week to get it done.
That's what I say. I say figure it out.
Figure it out. I need more of those, by the way. 6 episodes of Let It Kenny every 2 years.
It's just not right, no.
Yeah. I get it. There's a lot of probably memorization and things to learn these lines because they say so much in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, really cram a lot into an episode.
like that would be something I'm legit like to see like a script of an atypical sitcom, 30-minute sitcom, and then see the Letterkenny.
Oh, sure. I'm sure it's like bam.
I imagine it's a lot thicker because they talk fast and furious at you. So by design, I mean, when they get into their little rants, that's the whole point. It's funny because it's if they're slow and messing it up, the punchlines would be funny.
Right.
So it hits you fat. But I got to imagine that, those scripts are probably a little bigger because they're pound for pound. They've got to get more lines per minute than other shows.
Were you in a pretty bad car accident when you were younger, bud? Just some of the best just snaps, chirping the back bush. I mean, it's all so good.
Those are the best ones. Yeah. But I'm not going to lie. I've been jonesing for some, I'm like, there's no new ones.
For some sushis and sashimis.
Oh, wait a minute. Shores. I watched all those. Dang it. There's got to be some.
I tried Shoresy. I just don't feel like it's not my cup of tea.
I'm a hockey guy, and to me, it just makes the hockey funnier. Because I get all those stupid hockey references. Because hockey players are so like cliquey compared to, football, yeah, but it's like every single hockey player has this own language, their own world, their own, just life that's way different than everybody else. And the coach and they just nail every single bit of that whole, and then when they get in the locker room talking, you're like, what did he just say? Like there's a whole bit with drumsticks, ice cream cones that makes me laugh every time because I'm like, yeah, that's atypical hockey players right there. They're drummies. They're
for the ice cream.
Yeah, it's all fighting for the drummies. Hey, but I did good. I get a drummie, right? All right, it is 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. I kind of want a drumstick now.
Right?
I get on kicks where I'll buy the Chocolate Lovers pack of drumsticks.
Okay, so I gotta mention this. My kid's mom introduced me to something. Do you know that they sell just the bottom of the waffle cone?
Really?
With
the chocolate?
Yes.
Oh, I'd be down with that.
You can buy that. It's just waffle cone ends as like a snack, as like a bag of.
I would eat that all day long.
It's the best part of the cone.
Although, it's so much my favorite when there's just a smidge of ice cream with that.
Yeah, you need.
If you could somehow dip it in melted ice cream.
So you get a bag of those. You get yourself like a Frosty or a cone from McDonald's.
Ooh, yeah,
right.
That's the move. That's the move right there. Yep. Oh man, Wendy's.
I'm a coming.
Dave's ghost, get on this. I think you should work on that one. All right, it is 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore with your Pecos Valley weather. It is a tranquil weather pattern in place for most of the week, just a little roller coaster ride with temperatures. Sunny for today for Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. Highs are from the upper 60s to the low 70s, and then we're dropping off from the low to mid 30s for tonight. Sunny for tomorrow and slightly cooler. Highs from the upper 50s to near 60, and then we're right back up into the mid to upper 70s with dry weather Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore.
Thank you, Jennifer. Currently 40 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36%. Winds currently out of the north at 7 miles per hour. Sunny today. Expect highs in the upper 60s, 67 officially. Winds calm for today for the most part. Out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 28 degrees. Winds out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, sunny, a little cooler tomorrow. Highs near 60. Winds will be out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 37 degrees. South winds, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, warming back up into the 80s. Bringing little breezes with it, though. But sunny skies, high of 81 on Wednesday. South winds, 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Wednesday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 47 and breezy. Winds rolling back in on Thursday, mostly sunny and windy, highs near 85. Partly cloudy Thursday night and windy with an overnight low of 48. Sunny and a high near 70 on Friday, windy as well. And then 76 and sunny Saturday, sunny and 86 on Sunday. So cooler to start the week and then warming up and adding some wind for fun for the back half. All right, it is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take about a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then we'll play our interview with Amy McVeigh-Tejas we had last Thursday from the Historical Society. Don't go away.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Hey CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, it's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
As proud sponsors of the 2023 Golden Gloves event, let Candlewood Suites of Roswell knock you out with spacious rooms, quiet location, and great pricing. Recover in comfort at our Candlewood Suites, 4 Military Heights Drive, Roswell, 575-623-4300, 575-623-4300.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock and through the chaos.
comes Amy McVeigh-Tejas from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. Good morning.
At least I'm not the chaos. Usually I am, and for today I'm not. That's
You're not the
awesome.
one. But you got a chance to talk with Nathaniel.
Yes.
What a great young man, isn't he?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I've known the family most of my life. His sister was a ball player.
Ah.
So they're all ball players. So I
Okay.
love that whole family. They love sports and everything. So we've been praying for him and his amazingness, and know that it's just the beginning of a lot of amazingness for him and his story.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad that he's doing well today. and
Absolutely.
it's good. It's
for sure.
It was nice to see that young man, looking like he's got his direction, his life, and despite the deck of cards he was dealt, he's making things happen, and it's good to see.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I want to say hi to a special listener. Mike, you've got a new listener.
Uh-oh.
So we want to give a shout
We're
out.
up to 3 now.
Four, because his grandpa's listening.
Well,
with
2
it. But
today because Kim's here.
No,
so.
that's true.
Kim's here, so just 2.
We want to give a special shout out to Isaac Montes.
Oh.
He's on spring break.
Good morning, Isaac.
He's home with his grandpa, and he had the privilege of attending the Roswell High baseball camp. So we heard great things. So Isaac, you behave yourself and make sure grandpa behaves himself too. But we want to thank you for listening this morning.
Absolutely. Enjoy your spring break. And
Speaking of amazing kids, he's a pretty amazing kid.
Nice.
Oh, and by the way, it is my grandson Landon Cole's 10th birthday today.
Happy birthday! I heard he won tickets to a concert.
Heck yes!
Sean was saying
a week from today, we're going to be going to Carlsbad. I just got
Casting
that
Crowns.
news.
Yeah.
Heck yes! So it's part of his birthday. So it's a great time and great people. And I want to give a shout out to the Roswell Chamber. We did Rise with Roswell this morning.
That was Dark 30 this morning.
Oh,
yes.
Dark 30. The Historical Society was represented. And I just want to give a shout out. Sometimes we take I know we do. Mike, we take so many things for granted. And huge shout out to the Roswell Chamber and the legacy of the agriculture. Wow, the rich legacy of agriculture in our area. That was a great morning. It was amazing. And Mike, you would have loved the speaker, because shout out to Matt Gooder Guy Rush. He was amazing and challenging us all to be gooder.
He was supposed to be here a couple years ago. But COVID, that was the year we had to cancel the Rise of Roswell because of COVID. And so he was supposed to speak that year. So
he was amazing.
So we got him back.
Well, and he
here
is
for this
amazing.
year. Yeah.
And I think that, Mike, he certainly aligns with what we believe at the Historical Society, and we just value planting seeds and making life gooder. If we all agree on that and nothing else, to me, that's a golden. We're golden.
That's a good message to put at the Rise of Roswell Agriculture Break.
Making life gooder and planting the seeds and seeing things sunny side up.
There
right?
you go.
What a concept.
Of course, there might be an English teacher might want to come in and work
And that's
with it.
funny because as the story goes, he's got English educators in his family.
Nice.
Which even makes it
They're
gooder.
the gooderists of the bunch.
So Mike, Jason, and Christina and I were out there today. So if you hear a lot of gooder, we're on board. It's hit, and you better watch out because we are ready.
It's kind of like in the club if you gooder it.
And I'm going to just watch out because next time going to New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy, and I'm going to challenge them to be all gooder. So let's just set aside English today, smile, and make life gooder.
Take a break and be gooder about it.
So it was a great morning. We started out great, and things will get better. And I'm happy to be here. Speaking of making life gooder, we've got some amazing applicants already through our scholarships.
We are officially hitting the 2-minute warning here on
We
this.
sure are. We sure
Got
are.
about a week left here.
We've got a week left from tomorrow.
Yep.
I was looking. We've got quite a few applications already.
Good.
But there is certainly room for a lot more. And we want to encourage kids to do this. That's why I'm here on the radio today during spring break. Make the calls to your family, friends, kids, high school seniors that are fighting the battle, getting ready for college.
You have a
need
little
the support.
downtime right now. This is the time to fill out the applications, get them turned in.
Yeah.
And, that because I know you're going to have next week, but you're probably getting ready for, school.
Yes.
And,
do it now.
If you're involved in sports in some way,
For
you got
sure.
practice,
That's
everything
true.
else going
That's
on.
true.
So this is probably the time to get this knocked out.
So for sure, and I've gotten a couple of calls. We want to remind everybody or put the word out or follow us on social media or go to our website at roswellnmhistory.org. Most important thing is these applications are Google Docs only. If you upload some old, and every year we get at least one, we'll have a scholarship application submitted in paper that was like from 2019 or 2020. So through COVID, we started something that is much easier for us and everybody else, and these are going to Google document forms. So if you're listening and saying, when can I turn something in? When will you be at the museum? Things are not being held the proper way because everything needs to be submitted online through Google Documents.
If you go to roswellnmhistory.org, that's the historical science website.
Yep.
Right almost center page, you're going to see a link for the Hayes Scholarships.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Click on that, and then you'll see the different categories, and you click on the one that you're applying for, and then fill out the application.
And there has been a little bit of confusion, so let's be very transparent and clear on things. So this year we are offering one singular, just one.
Yes.
Which one's better than none? We're excited to have this.
Well, it's the first time we've been able to do it for
right.
college students.
But this continuing education scholarship is offered to any student enrolled in a trade school or a university, private or anything, higher education.
Accredited higher
We're
education.
offering that for one scholarship for $1,250. Unfortunately, right now, but fortunately, we have this. That's the only scholarship individuals beyond a high school diploma can apply for.
Sure.
So that's one. Otherwise, all high school seniors, whether you're wherever, and you can make a call. It's not just Roswell. If you've got cousins down in Dexter or Hagerman or even Tatum or Fort Sumner or the Valley. We love some Valley. We've gotten some unique and private school.
Hold on. I guess it's over. That was supposed to be. Okay.
It's not on the paper.
Yeah, it's not a scheduled test because I'm looking at my scheduled test. Well, I'm thinking someone hit a button.
Test.
Yeah, because there would be someone coming on afterwards if there was someone there. But I get a thing. The next one was going to be April 7th, Friday, April 7th, in the 5 a.m. hour. So I don't know where that came from. So.
Maybe it's some kind of sign.
Now, pull back the curtain just real quick. How that works, that emergency alert system, that EAS, it's like a daisy chain. So we actually get ours from KKOB. So KKOB gets it from someone, and then KKOB sends it to us, and then we send it on down the thing. And so there are certain ones that distribute, and so it gets chased. That's how...
I got you.
That's how that system works. I think it's a bit antiquated, but that's why it sounds like some guy from Mars going, and this is an test of the most system. That's why it sounds like that, but... Anyway, sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. But otherwise, with all high school seniors, whether you're in private school or whether you're homeschooled, you can apply for a humanities and arts scholarship, one for $1,250. We have 2 STEM scholarships. Any student that will be majoring in any category that is linked in with the STEM is able for, and we're offering 2 $1,250 scholarships, and then we're also offering 2 character scholarships. Let's be very clear. A student can qualify, a high school senior, for more than one. Or if they have a major and a minor, they could honestly qualify for all 3. We've had that instance before.
Yeah.
But high school students, if it applies to them, can apply for more than one scholarship.
Absolutely.
But if you have any questions, call 622-8333, or you could even email me directly at historydirector@outlook.com. But that deadline is March 31st. Huge shout out to Troy Hayes, and we've got some new scholarship members that are helping make things possible also.
Good.
And we really, really appreciate it. And I know some of our new scholarship memberships will be helping make our New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy scholarships available. I'll be speaking out there today.
Good.
I can't believe, Mike, it's almost time for this group to graduate again. This cycle
it seems
will
like
be
it just started.
This group will be graduating this cycle, as they say, will be graduating in June. And the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, thanks to the FM Nelson and some other supporting entities, including the Troy Hayes Trust, we will be offering $2,500 in scholarships for this cycle at New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy.
Awesome.
So we'll have more information. We're going to talk to them directly today. Out there, we'll be speaking to every Youth Challenge Academy cadet about these opportunities and what they need to do now to start to get that going.
Good deal.
Fun. A lot of fun.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to see that's going on, and I'm glad to see they're back fully doing. They took a big hit during COVID and things too.
Yeah.
So it's great to see that
they're so amazing.
They're back to just doing their normal curriculum.
Huge shout out to Tina Cisneros and all the amazing staff out there. I just love them and what they're doing. And I know the New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy is going to be part of the Character Counts events coming up. And that will end, the Character Counts events coming up, and I did want to mention that, speaking of New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy, those dates will end, those will go from April the 24th through April the 29th.
Okay.
And the final day of Saturday, April the 29th, Character Counts Cleanup Saturday. New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy the whole entire group, isn't that awesome?
Cool.
We'll be cleaning out at the Judge Jones area that we've adopted in honor of Judge Jones. And then also we want to encourage people through the Historical Society and us partnering with the Preserving Chihuahuita Project. They will also be cleaning up for the Chihuahuita Project. So a lot of cleaning, I think, through character and just really celebrating, cleaning up. We want to encourage people to clean up their neighborhoods and everywhere. But if you want to support the Preserving Chihuahuita Project cleanup, they're meeting at the 100 block of South Elm on April the 29th between 8 and 10 a.m.
Okay.
So let's clean up out there and preserve history or support character counts through there. And that's just fun things. You know me, my character counts hat's put on because that's about history too.
Absolutely.
And those events are coming up April the 24th and the 29th. And speaking of character, your wife is generally every year nominated for the Teacher of Character Award because we love educators. And that time is around too. So if you're saying, Amy, what in the world are you talking about? What are you talking about? Character Counts Week will be April the 24th through the 29th. And if you want to honor a teacher of character, you could even email Tim Fuller or myself to get more information about that. I think that we should celebrate character every day, all day, and twice on Sunday because we all need it, but certainly our educators.
It's a neat banquet and everything when they do that every year. And
so we're going to do a drive-through again. First we talked about the banquet, and I think back by popular demand is these charcuterie boxes.
Yeah.
We've got new sponsors this year. We've got some new sponsors and fun little extra stops. We're already printing our gifts, and they're going to be really, really cool.
Oh, nice.
So we're really excited about that.
But every time there's hundreds of teachers that the community recognize and that Character Counts honors. It's nice to see.
We do love to. I mean, it's certainly our favorite time. I know Tim and I are both excited about it, and Juliana and so many amazing board members that, I mean, if we could celebrate character and do things, and I really think we should. I think back in the day, we used to celebrate character more throughout the year and not just 1 week. And I think we want to encourage people to get back to that. I think that's something we can all agree on. We all need it. Speaking about things needing to be a little gooder, character, we can all agree on character.
Absolutely.
And the need of that. So,
well, we need more of that.
Yeah.
Today in our world than anything
else. Oh,
else
that's for sure.
So,
and huge shout out to everybody. I know our Teen Leadership Institute is starting this Sunday.
Yeah, they'll be
getting
up.
We can't thank Mike. It keeps getting gooder and gooder. I think we're well surpassing offering over $10,000 in scholarships for 30 students and applicants.
Yeah,
that is just amazing.
That's great.
Huge shout out to the Teen
Leadership. They blew away
Leadership.
the goal because I think they were just hoping to get at least $5,000.
Right.
And now they've doubled that.
In a couple since I've been involved, we thought, wow, $5,000.
Yeah.
Now we've got $10,000, and I think we almost have more than that. So there's so much opportunity for these students, and that's really exciting also.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So good luck to those students here. This weekend.
A lot of things coming up. I know, Mike, on behalf of the Historical Society, we're going to be part of that Art NM event. I don't know if you've talked about that on the radio or not, and I'm sure Lori Roof and them will start promoting it. But the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico will have a booth at the April 8th event at the Roswell Museum and Art Center, the Art NM event, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I know there's going to be some door prizes because one of them's from this.
Because you put one together.
So there's extra blessings there. And we're going to be celebrating and showcasing our video too, Mike. So if you haven't watched the Historical Society video and the Strange Family, anytime Strange Family's involved, you know it's going to be amazing. You're going to want to come to our booth. It's some really cool, our little miniature art. That's what everybody's doing this year.
Yeah,
We're going to have a really cool booth and a lot of photos. So I'm excited about that too.
Good deal. So put on the calendars, make plans to attend, come on out, and definitely, and that'll be what was it, April?
And something else that we just want to remind people, we'll have little goodie bags. That event's on April the 8th. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Roswell Museum and Art Center. We'll have our own little information and stuff at our booth, but we want to encourage everybody to attend all the booths and everything. School tours are coming up, and if people are listening and thinking, well, I don't have a fourth grader, we want to remind everybody how important it is to encourage the significance of history in the household. And there is no better tour guides than little fourth graders, because once they get excited about history, I want to encourage these people once they get home. I hear this all the time. Every summer, this is what I hear, Mike. Well, I wanted my parents to come to the museum, but they didn't want to, and I dragged them here. And I'm thinking, what? This should be the other way around. But these kids get really excited about our history, and we need to encourage everybody. Let's just celebrate our own local treasures. Yeah. Man, we've got a wealth of history around here.
I'm not a proponent for squeaky wheel gets the grease, but that works.
Well, it does.
It works.
It does. So fourth grade school tours are coming up the last week of April, the first week of May. If you want to be involved by just making a donation, helping us cover some of our supplies and those kinds of things, by being a sponsor of that, we could always have the help. Anyway, we can bless kids. We're getting backpacks together, and we have most of everything approved. But if somebody wanted to call and sponsor and get more items, I guarantee you, Jennifer Cole and all the education department over at the Roswell Independent School District would be happy to get some additional items submitted, anything we can pass on to the students. We just want to help them get excited about that too.
Even if you like to donate like paper towels, napkins,
all the
ancillary
supplies,
stuff.
wipes, and all this cleaning stuff. If you did nothing but say, hey, listen, next time we go to Sam's, what could we purchase to help the school tours? You're exactly right, because it's all those basic items, and cleaning items, and all of those things we'll need, and that helps make those events possible.
Absolutely.
So we've got some amazing new sponsors to help make things possible, but we always need. And by the way, speaking of scholarships, if you're listening and thinking, the significance of investing in our future generations. It is not too late to add on and offer additional scholarships. Nothing would give us greater honor and privilege is to say, oh, by the way, applicants, we're offering another scholarship and being able to bless an additional applicant.
Trust me,
it is never
the selection
too late.
Committee, they're going to be arguing hardcore after next week.
And we're already dreading.
Yeah. They do, because it's such a difficult task to pick the right, because they're all worthy of it. And,
I was already reading some of our applicants with my mouth was wide open because, oh my goodness. But any opportunity we can give back.
So if you do have extra money, it does make them a little happier.
Or if you just have a little money and think it won't make a difference, but you know what? We've got $100 or anything. Any way we can give back and help, we're all in, and that would be a true blessing just to impact their lives in any way. Because you know as well as I do, $50 to $100 to a student, every little bit helps.
You're right.
Whether it is a little.
Whether
that
it's
little
paid for a book or for a semester of books, it helps to do that.
Memberships, we're still collecting loose change. We're still needing memberships. Our memberships are up. People are really supporting, and we really appreciate it. Just recently, we've had some people purchasing them for gifts, like a Pay It Forward membership. Somebody helped them, and they said, well, I'll just make you a member of the Historical Society. And Mike, the buzz is on. People are wanting herd prints.
By the way,
I've been shipping them all over the United States lately.
Great. They make great gifts.
Well, and somebody got a gift and called and said, listen, I got this gift and I think they purchased it from you. Now I want some. So what better way to celebrate history? They're very inexpensive, practical, and you can get them matted and framed. We, one of our board members, Carol Cunningham, did that for a door prize.
Yeah.
And if we've got a lane available and you call and say, listen, I need one matted and framed, I'm guaranteeing you with a couple of calls, we'll get that baby matted and framed.
You sweet talker, she'll work with you. What's her weakness?
She's a thrift
What's her
shopper.
weakness? Coffee, candy? What's her weakness?
She loves it all. She
Okay.
loves to experience, whether she goes to a restaurant.
Okay.
She loves to be wined
I'm just
and
wondering
dined.
what would be proper bribing materials if you wanted her to mat
give her a
it for
gift
you.
card
and
to
everything.
Peppers or the winery.
Okay.
She'd love it.
That'll
she
be
just
your-
loves to get out and, have some fun with people. She's a people person. So to get her out and eat dinner or have a drink, she's all in.
All right, I just wanted to see what the public could do to make it
You know
worth her
what? She's
while
not
to
picky.
do.
She'd even take a Sonic gift card. I'm just saying. She is not. She goes, I'm telling you right now, Sonic gift card with Miss Elaine.
There you go. A couple Route 44s in her future.
Her ears are probably ringing. I keep calling her. She's like, okay.
But yeah, they do great gifts.
They
of
really
course,
do.
Mother's Day is right around the corner. Father's Day on the heels of that. So if you need that,
I just wrapped a book the other day. John LeMay came down to sign some books. We've even gotten Donna Blake Virtual's autograph recently. You know what? Any way we can get autographs, celebrate history, we can mail. We'll ship the books. We'll wrap the books. We'll add a herd print in a book. We had that. We shipped a book and a herd print. So a person got the herd print and the book. Those are just great gift ideas.
Absolutely.
So any way we can.
Yeah.
Any way we can help you or whatever.
And they're so please, RoswellNMhistory.org is our website. If you want to learn more about the scholarships, that's where you're going to go. If you want to purchase some of these books or the her prints, that's where you'll go. If you want to become a member, you'll find everything you'll need, the different levels of membership, sponsorship, every way from an individual to a corporate sponsorship and in between there.
And I think we keep repeating ourselves, but I want to repeat it again, Mike.
Sure.
We are open by appointment.
Absolutely.
That is not a negative sentiment.
Yeah.
That is a very positive sentiment because we're offering a greater service.
Yeah, it's a
Just the
personalized
other
tour.
morning, we had an early birder, and the only way they could tour the museum was real early in the morning. I'm going to tell you right now, back in the day, that wasn't possible. Well, now it is.
Yeah.
Call the right person. We've got early birders or people like Elaine that are not early birders but would prefer to come
She's the night owl.
She is. Now, Miss Jane, early bird.
Yeah.
Fred, he's in the middle.
Okay.
We've got a little bit of all of it, but
There's
it's
our
not a
there's our
negative
three golden
sentiment.
bears. We got Jane. It's
Oh,
early.
exactly. And the Strange Family meets in the middle. We've got Miss Donna. It'll be there all the time on
Sure.
Friday.
Of course,
I
the
guarantee-
Ackermans, they pop in from time
for
to time
sure they
doing
do.
their thing. Yeah.
So we want to remind people, if you have company coming in for the summer and visitors, make a plan, give us a call. We can set up an appointment. But if you have last-minute visitors, we've been accommodating people same-day kind of service. But
Sure.
as you know, I'm the only employee. I'm not there every day, all day, 24 hours a day. So give a call if you can. Let's make an appointment. It's a great thing, and we're offering a greater service than we ever have.
Or shoot
And
a message
people
on our
love it.
Facebook or
Because
wherever.
we just got this yesterday. We've never been to a museum that's offered us such a private tour. They loved, and then they wanted to come back again.
And we'd love to have them
we
back
just
again.
love that
Yeah.
too. And just reminding people, if you're at home and you think you've been to the museum and that type of thing, just enjoy and share a video.
Sure.
That's
Well,
a great way
It's a
to
unique
celebrate.
home. I mean, and that's where I think the personal, because now you get the stories. You get the stories of what went on in this room, or why the furniture is this way, or why the layout of the house is the way it's laid out. It's all by design. You look at that house and the way it's done, and if you take technology of the turn of the century and what they had, then all of it makes sense.
Oh my goodness!
You look at it from a 2023 vein, and then you're like, but when you're like, okay, but in 1900. It was done this way for this reason. You're like, okay, now I get why it looks like this, or why it's set up this
that's
way.
right.
And that's the cool part of that personalized tour is you
That's
get
exactly right.
that kind of information.
For sure, that one-on-one. And some people come in saying, I'm really not as much interested about this as I am about this. We can customize that tour.
You're more about the people than the building, then
For
we'll
sure.
then we'll focus it that way.
Oh,
or
for
for more
sure.
about the knickknacks in the building versus the people, then we can go heavy that way.
For sure. We
Yeah.
want to do a challenge, too, and we were talking about this to all educators. As we're coming to the end of the year, and if you need a little space to fill and you need some time, we want to encourage all educators to showcase our video. It's only 20 minutes. It's on the history of Roswell. Whether they're 18, whether they're... Let's celebrate and showcase that video, too. So you can look that right through YouTube.
Yeah, RoswellMHistory.org. You can
How's
find
that
it right
one?
now. And, of course, if you come out to the event on the 8th, at the museum, you could definitely see it there.
Yes, we're really excited
But you
about
don't have
that.
to wait till then.
And so, Mike, something fun we're doing for that Art and M event, we're going to have a little scavenger hunt. So for students that attend the event, we're going to be showcasing some special items in a showcase.
Okay.
And then they'll have to come tour the museum and find those items.
All right. Bolo on that one. Be on the lookout.
Oh, yeah.
Good deal.
And we've got some new displays in the archives facility and that kind of thing. So
absolutely.
A lot going on.
And then one other thing I want to remind folks, too, is if you need a rental space for about 75 people for an event or a business meeting or a small party or quinceañera or whatever, the archives facility, you're not going to be downstairs or upstairs where all the hidden stuff is.
That's right.
But you'll be,
in our conference area,
the conference room and kitchen and all that. If you need
Nice
that space,
facility.
it's available for rental. Again, call the Historical Society for more information there. But I'm saying it's been kind of popular, so give yourself an advance time here to make sure you can schedule the dates you want and things, because we have had a few people inquire about the facility.
And we've had some new policy updates, got a little bit of an insurance change just a little bit, but give us a call if you're looking in the future. We've got a little updates. We'll be happy to work with people in any way possible.
But it is available for that if you need that as well, too. And by the way, say you're like doing a small wedding reception, or that property is a beautiful place for photography, for weddings or graduation pics or whatever. If you don't incorporate that front porch of that home into one of your pictures, you're not doing it right.
That's for sure. We had a couple
spot.
just not too long ago that were taking pictures on the outside, and they said, "Can we peek in?" They gave us a little donation. They took some beautiful pictures, and they were so excited.
Yeah.
Something else I want to mention, talking about grounds, a little update on the grounds. We're renovating and always updating.
Unfortunately, old buildings require constant maintenance, and that's something we're always doing. If it's not the foundation, it's the roof, and if it's not the roof, it's the foundation.
We're getting there.
It's
shout out to our most recent angels, which is Schrader Roofing, for coming in and being our angels and doing some minor repairs on our roof, just as giving back to the community. Shout out to them. So we still do have some roof issues, of course. It's like you said, it's an old building. But we are having some major ground expenditures. That sprinkler system might be just almost as old as the house. I'm just kidding. Almost.
It's older than water.
It is ancient. It is older than water. We are. That was one of the last requests of Mary Lou Glass. In honor of Mary Lou Glass, boy, she wanted our grounds to be beautiful, and she was part of the garden club and everything.
Absolutely. She
we
put her
are,
money where her mouth is and went there and did it.
In honor of Mary Lou, one of the things our board feels very strongly on is respecting her wishes.
Absolutely.
And we told her that was part of these phases. We have to do repairs. So in honor of Mary Lou, thank you. Huge shout out to our board. We are going to do some major sprinkler repairs, and that is not cheap. So if you want to assist and honor Mary Lou Glass, respect her wishes, we're mutually going to go forward on some sprinkler repairs. Give us a call, make that donation in honor of Mary Lou. We would just love to spruce up those grounds, and we want that. We've just had to do things we've had to do, and we're getting there.
Yeah,
we're getting
priorities
there.
kind of put things in a sequential difference there, but we are doing it.
Yes.
And then, speaking of Mary Lou Glass, be more to come on that front too.
That's right.
In the future time.
We've got some fun announcements coming.
Yeah.
We have something really, really exciting coming up. It's either going to be the latter part of August or that first week in September. We've got an amazing announcement of coming up, and it will just final those. And we will be honoring Mary Lou Glass. And if you want to partner with us and honor the legacy of Mary Lou Glass, I'll almost say yes without you telling me. But there might be some exceptions. Let's be clear. Any way we can honor the legacy of Mary Lou Glass and partner with any organization, we'll never be able to honor her the way she deserves, but I'll sure as heck will die trying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will.
So, and she gave so much.
Many
She's
years
just part of that
service to our
legacy.
community
And we can never repay
society.
her for all she's done, but we sure can celebrate her. And I think if she wanted nothing more besides that house being renovated, is giving back to the community.
Yep.
And she was a school teacher, so education's top of the list too. So.
Yep. So I think what we're doing is about what you want us to do.
That's right.
So that's
for sure.
But definitely So call, schedule an appointment if you're saying, hey, I got family in town this weekend. Can we make arrangements to schedule a tour and give us a little notice, give us some notice, and we'll make sure we can do that. Especially if it's unique times. If it's dark 30, we'll
figure it out. We'll call Miss Jane first.
We'll get Miss
dark
Jane
30.
and make sure you're there. But if you want to do something at 8 o'clock at night, then we'll get Elaine on the blower.
We'll get Elaine involved, and then Fred or whatever we need to do. But call 622-8333 for more information. If you need to call my cell phone directly or send me a text. Really, a text is the easiest, saying, this is who I am, this is what I need in a date. Is sometimes if I'm on the phone, we can make that happen. So you can text or call my cell phone at 575-915-4471 to get a direct response.
And don't forget, 1 week from tomorrow, March 31st, is the drop dead deadline to get your applications in for the Hayes scholarships. Again, we've got this year the newly added continuing education for college scholarships, but we also have the character scholarship, the STEM scholarship, and humanities and arts scholarship for high school seniors.
Yep.
High school seniors only apply for that one, but the continuing education scholarship, we'll get that right. That is open to all students currently enrolled in college or accredited higher education right now. So if it's trade school or technical school, or
we've gotten a lot of applications already, and I'm so thankful. I know that's hard. Once you're in college, these scholarships a lot of times are when you graduate from high school, but then it's hard. So that's going to be a highly contended scholarship. Nothing would make me happier if a listener called and said, let's go ahead and give 2 of those, I'll sponsor another one, because we've already gotten quite a few applications, and these are our recipients in the past that are coming back and saying, I'm hanging in there and we need help.
We love those.
Any way you can help make that possible and add another scholarship, we'd love that.
RoswellNMhistory.org. You'll find everything you need there at the website for the scholarship.
Yep.
So, well, thank you, ma'am.
Huge thank you. We appreciate it.
We'll go let you go. I'm sure you got 12 other rodeos to round up, and we'll see you next time.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Happy day.
Anytime. It is 9:54. News and quick break before they kick us off the radio. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. U.S. regulators say they need more time to wrap up a final safety report and make a decision on whether to license a multi-billion-dollar complex meant to temporarily store tons of spent nuclear fuel from commercial nuclear plants around the nation. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission issued the new schedule last week, citing unforeseen staffing constraints. The agency was initially expected to issue a decision by the end of this month. It will now likely be the end of May. A man convicted of being involved in a Roswell murder 3 years ago. Manuel Villarreal was found guilty of murder and 2 other charges for the shooting death of 43-year-old John Halfman in November of 2020. Halfman's body was found in a shed in the 700 block of East 5th Street in Roswell. Villarreal was on the loose about a week before his arrest in the case. The jury also convicted the man for trying to intimidate a witness. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore with your Pecos Valley weather. It is a tranquil weather pattern in place for most of the week, just a little roller coaster ride with temperatures. Sunny for today for Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. Highs are from the upper 60s to the low 70s, and then we're dropping off from the low to mid 30s for tonight. Sunny for tomorrow and slightly cooler. Highs from the upper 50s to near 60, and then we're right back up into the mid to upper 70s with dry weather Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A late afternoon turnaround on Wall Street left stocks higher Friday as the market shook off a weak start amid worries about banks on both sides of the Atlantic. Federal Reserve officials said there was no indication financial stress was worsening as they gathered at a policy meeting this week, a fact that allowed them to stay focused on lowering inflation with another interest rate increase. In separate appearances, 3 regional Fed bank presidents said they ultimately concluded that the March 10th collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, along with other developments, did not undermine confidence in the strength of the U.S. banking system as a whole, with one dismissing the California-based lender's failure as not relevant to how other banks are managed. General Mills raised its fiscal 2023 forecast for a 4th time after beating estimates for quarterly results, helped by price increases and steady demand for its packaged food products. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
This country can sure be windy in the springtime, and we all know the best thing about wind is when it stops. Well, your friends at Roswell Ford can't do anything about the wind, but we can sure help you find the right car or truck. Roswell Ford has the biggest selection of nice pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico, each one carefully inspected and backed with a 3-day money-back guarantee. We also have brand new Fords arriving almost every day, so you'll want to check with us frequently to be sure you don't miss something. And when your vehicle needs service, remember that Roswell Ford offers free pickup and delivery, so you don't have to get out in the wind. Or the Roswell Ford mobile service van can come to you and take care of most routine maintenance at your house or where you work. So whether you're shopping for a new vehicle or taking care of the one you have, you can't do better than Roswell Ford, the tailgate nation, at the corner of 9th and Main. Come see us, but remember to hang on to your hat and don't let that car door get away from you.
You've heard of a Four Seasons room, but have you heard of a Four Seasons window? Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing and Windows. It might surprise you to learn many windows are built to handle only the cold or only the heat, but not both. In Southeast New Mexico, one or the other doesn't cut it. That's why Trustmark windows are built to handle our Four Seasons climate, the scorching summers, the bone-chilling winters, and everything in between. Special glass coating blocks extreme UV rays, a stout frame prevents warping from the extreme weather changes, and insulated glass is like putting your home in a giant styrofoam cooler in the winter and keeps cold out and warmth in, and in the summer it keeps heat out and cool in. For our Four Seasons weather, get Four Seasons windows. Call today for your no-obligation spring window assessment, 575-755-7663, or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:58. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15 or so. We're going to the folks from Roswell Seed. John Noble and Crystal Noble join us talking about bees. Yeah, we had them in a couple weeks ago talking about bee season, ordering your bees. Well, we're approaching on the deadline to do that. So they're going to join us next hour and talk about bees. So that's next hour. But this Thursday, excuse me, hiccups. Chavez County, or veterans in general, you don't have to live in Chavez County. It's just happening here. But the Chavez County Veteran Symposium is this Thursday from 8 to 5, all day long. It's going to be at the National Guard Armory, which is located at 1 West Earl Cummings Loop at the south end, down by the base. Like I said, it's all day from 8 to 5, and services include Veterans Property Tax Exemption, Waiver Clinic, Claims Clinic, Goodwill Industries, local Chavez County veteran organizations will be there, our Veterans Healthcare Services and Vet Center, Women's Veteran Programs, VA Home Loan Information, Senior Services, and more. Also, scheduled events include the presentation of colors at 9 a.m. by the Youth Challenge. From 10 to noon, they're going to have a PACT Act Town Hall with the VA Healthcare and the New Mexico Department of Veteran Services. At noon, they're going to have a performance by the New Mexico Military Institute Gauss Rifle Team. And Survivors Benefit presentation will be at 1 o'clock, presented by the VA Regional Office. So if you have any questions about the event, contact Danielle Thompson at 575-416-2284. But again, this Thursday, March 30th, 8 to 5 at the National Guard Armory. Don't miss it. All right, it's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Accusing the Kremlin of nuclear blackmail, Ukraine's government is calling for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. It's in response to Russian President Putin's plans to station tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's judicial reform plan has set off a firestorm of protest all across the country. Israeli newspaper editor Amir Tibon tells the BBC nationwide demonstrations are taking a toll on every level of society.
Tens of thousands of people were out in the streets, and by midnight it was hundreds of thousands all over the country protesting and calling on the government to stop this legislation. And this morning, while it's not official yet, we are hearing reports that the Prime Minister is indeed going to announce at least a temporary halt of this legislation in light of these very widespread and impressive protests that we saw last night all over Israel.
A federal disaster declaration approved for Mississippi, where weekend tornadoes killed at least 25 people, devastating the small town of Rolling Fork and some nearby communities. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says safety remains a serious concern in the hard-hit areas.
I just really encourage everybody to remain vigilant, stay cautious. There is a lot of hazards within this debris. And unfortunately, there's been so much loss of life, which is just heartbreaking. But we often see additional injuries and additional loss of life after a disaster because of the type of hazards that are in this debris.
The death toll is 7 in Friday's powerful explosion that leveled a chocolate factory in West Reading, Berks County, Pennsylvania. The number of fatalities rose to 7 after 2 bodies were pulled from the debris, all of the missing now accounted for. On Wall Street, the Dow's up 132. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The Australian government is on the verge of implementing new, tougher environmental regulations.
Previously, Australia was slow to embrace policies to tackle climate change, but a series of natural disasters has led to a shift in attitudes. The most eye-catching detail in this new deal concerns more than 200 of Australia's most polluting oil, gas and mining facilities. They'll have to cut their emissions by 5% a year until 2030. The accord was agreed by the governing Labour Party and the Greens, who had been holding out for tougher legislation. The Green Party said some new fossil fuel projects would now be unviable.
The BBC's Michael Bristow. A nuclear-powered U.S. aircraft carrier and its battle group have started exercises with South Korean warships hours after North Korea fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles in apparent protest of the Allies' expanding military drills. Townhall.com. While President Biden is on the record as being opposed to capital punishment, his administration is pushing ahead with federal execution.
An Associated Press review of dozens of legal filings shows President Biden's Justice Department is fighting just as vigorously as Donald Trump's did to uphold the sentences of death row inmates. Attorney General Merrick Garland did impose a moratorium in 2021. Although the pause is lifted, Garland has not authorized any new death penalty cases and reversed 27, but there are dozens more capital punishment cases being pursued by the Justice Department. I'm Jackie Quinn.
The Conference Board issues its monthly Consumer Confidence Report tomorrow. Analysts predict that the board's closely watched Consumer Confidence Index dipped this month to 101.3 from 102.9 in February. More on these stories. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Yes.
Welcome to it. Hope your day's going swell.
Yes.
You're right, sir.
You are correct, sir.
Hi-yo. Oh, Ed McMahon. You wonder, if there was no Tonight Show, would Ed McMahon be still the Ed McMahon we know?
I feel like he'd make his way. Of course, what else did he do? I mean, it was
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Well, yeah, but that was because of the Tonight Show, right? Like, he got that gig.
Well, yeah. I mean, Ed McMahon was kind of always a host type and everything else.
Because I remember Publishers Clearinghouse for sure. That was the big thing. Because I grew up kind of after Carson. He was still on the air when I was born, but
sure, it was later.
When I was like mature enough to know, it was Leno.
Yeah.
I think it was Leno.
Yeah, Leno was
him.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like I didn't really know Ed McMahon from that era. I definitely knew him more from Publishers Clearinghouse. But was he like? Did he host like Card Sharks or any kind of game show?
He used to do a lot of like sidekick host gigs, like game shows and. Like I seem to think he showed up with Dick Clark things a lot too. Like sometimes Dick Clark would do stuff and Ed McMahon would just show up there as a thing. I think he did like sometimes he'd be on game shows or like Funny's Home Videos. I seem to remember him popping on Funny's Home Videos quite a bit with Saget.
Yeah,
is just a guy. You know, he was kind of the like if you needed a guy to entertain up real quick, something, or you need a guest to kind of liven up. Call Ed McMahon. You know, he was kind of that guy.
Just there to punch things up a bit.
Certain people were just famous for being famous. You know, like, yes, they had a day job and sort of, but they were kind of bigger than that. Like Willard Scott and Ed McMahon, I put in the same category. At the end of the day, Willard Scott's famous for doing weather on the Today Show. But he's so much more than being the weather guy for the Today Show.
Right.
He was an iconic figure, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of like you Brits and your Savile guy before he got creepy.
Well, yeah. It was like that a while back.
Yeah. But, you know, and so I think McMahon is one of those guys. Like Robin Leach, we were talking about him last week. Another one of those guys, he's just famous for being Robin Leach or famous for being Ed McMahon.
Hey, just famous for being famous.
It's like, why are they famous? Well, it's because he sat on a couch and said, "You're right, sir," and you know, good one. And
it's funny that Carson sort of established that whole second mic dynamic that became like, and it wasn't like as big of a thing as like on like Leno, because Leno had Kevin Eubanks. He always had like his band guy, and they sort of keep doing that with Jimmy and the band now.
Yeah, McMahon was the one and only.
But
really,
as far as like sidekick second banana host, the true like carrier on of that legacy is Conan.
Yeah,
with Conan
Andy Richter. Yeah, I would say if anybody is an Ed McMahon like that would be alive today or working is probably Andy Richter.
Yeah.
Him and, you know, yes, he's got other projects and other things, but
still to this day, one of the hardest laughs I had during the entirety of the pandemic was a clip from Conan's show.
Yes,
and Conan was
doing some funny stuff.
He was doing some real avant-garde stuff. But he did a show, and I don't know if he did this every time, but he did a show where specifically, Andy was the only person in the audience,
right?
And he did a joke. And it cut. It was like a long pause, and it cut to the audience with Andy, and like just like over in the corner, and he goes, "That's funny."
Yeah,
that was. I laughed so hard at that.
One of the bits that made me laugh so hard during that time that they used to do was they were doing live read commercials for Prego tomato sauce, and so they kept doing these bits where like it would appear they're sitting outside at some cafe, you know, but they looks like they're at a table together, but they're not.
Right.
And so they do this whole bit where they're feeding each other the Prego and they're passing it through the split screen.
Right.
And oh man, it's just funny the way I even think they Lady and Tramp it.
The spoon goes through and like 2 seconds later it pops in.
Yeah. And it's so dumb, but because it's Richter and Conan, it makes it just just hysterical. And I was like, if two other people pulled this off, it wouldn't be as funny.
And that was sort of the best part about entertainment during the pandemic was you sort of had to suspend your disbelief in a lot of situations.
Yeah, they almost peeled back the curtain a little bit. You got to see celebrities like Au Natural.
Yeah.
Where they were, they let their hair down a little bit, and they're not all pampered up and perfect.
Best part is let's see what's going on in the backgrounds of celebrities' households.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got on your fireplace mantle.
And they're trying to keep some of that going. Like I think is it E or one of those? I think they're still trying to do like that celebrity game show. Oh, really? Remember that one where they had like the celebrities at home?
Vaguely.
And it was like usually them and their partner, their spouse or some way. And like Kevin Hart hosted one of those shows. I'm pretty sure that they had several different versions, but the E one was, I think, Kevin Hart. And it's basically like a scavenger hunt where they'll get famous couples. It'll be like Rodney Peete and what's her name? His wife. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
I don't know who Rodney Peete is.
Rodney Pete's the old quarterback he played for Detroit.
Oh.
His wife is famous actress.
Gotcha.
Who let their hair down? Was that Colbert or Conan?
No, it was Conan and Andy Richter. They were kind of doing, their thing. That was it's their weird shtick, but it was
I remember somebody, but I can't remember who.
Yeah, and so, so they have these celebrities, and then they'd be like, okay, go find a waffle iron, or whatever it was, and then they go run, and they have to go do it, and comedy ensued. Yeah, they had a couple versions. Like I think they had a version too with what's his name? Oh shoot, I can't remember his names this morning. The Steelers quarterback, these 800 years old. No, before him. The one that's on TV. Old guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Oh shoot,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
he was the part of it too, and all of that, and I think now that COVID's over, those shows aren't so relevant. But I think a couple of them they're trying to, to be honest, one of my favorite things during the COVID, as far as programming was Impractical Jokers.
Because they did the dinner party.
Yeah,
thing,
they couldn't exactly go out and film their Impractical Jokers because COVID, they creep people out enough in public, let alone add the layer of COVID on that.
Me.
Yeah. And so half of those were just literally the four guys sitting at their home, and they would do dinner. So they would have a dinner theme, and they'd come, and one would pick the dinner theme, and they'd eat food, and then just shoot the bull. They'd bring a celebrity guest on to shoot the bull with them, and I love those shows. I'd sit there and watch them. It's kind of like peeling back the curtain. All that's gone away now because of COVID, but I'm like, dude, I'd almost rather watch this than the regular Impractical Joker sometimes. And to be honest, that show is not as good without Joe.
Has it lost?
Not.
I mean,
they've done what they've been.
The genius of it.
Well, there's the four guys.
See, but
Joe Gatto kind of retired 2 years ago, right after COVID.
And I always kind of thought that like Sal was like he carried the heavy load.
No, it's Joe. I can by once you miss Joe, you realize how funny Joe is. He's by far funnier than all three. Now they're funny.
Yeah, and that's crazy because
but he
especially Q and Murr, because those two are usually the ones who are like they're the pratfallers.
But when they have those awkward moments, Joe was the guy that always smoothed that together.
He was really smooth. Yeah, that's true.
And you see
so now they're just
missing.
all awkward. Okay.
Yeah, and they bring in celebrity hosts or celebrities. Like each episode now has a celebrity that usually hangs out for the final punishment or one of the big stunts.
Right.
And it's always each week now, and it could be anywhere from like music celebrities to comedians.
Yeah, here lately, I'm sure Chris Jericho I think showed up on
Jericho was one of them.
because they had the Jokers on an episode of AEW,
and I think a lot of it's themed too. Yeah, so I got it. It kind of stinks now that they need to bring Joe back. Joe was
incorporating it up.
It just
what
the chemistry changed.
Even when they got slammed through a table, they couldn't stop laughing.
I know it was. They were like just couldn't gotten put through pine, and they were just like had giggles on their faces.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Well, it's what it is. What it is. They spend their whole day doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I was talking about COVID and all that, but
I understand that though, because
some of those shows they ought to bring back.
I straight up stopped listening to this show that I've been, a loyal fan of for literally 8 years because one of the hosts decided, well, I'm going to go do other things. And they brought a new host. It's like, don't do that. Then change the name of the show.
Hey,
it's not the same show anymore.
Dukes of Hazzard that year stunk with Coy and whatever that clown, the cousins.
It has made for interesting listens on as far as people online, like what people have to say. It's like, oh, okay. Watching one by one, people are like, oh, this sucks now. This is terrible. Somebody have a gas leak in the writer's room. What happened?
Right. Yeah, you're just not used to it. The flow, everything's changed. It feels off-putting.
Tis.
We're going to talk about bees here in just a bit. I can't help it. That movie has traumatized me about bees. All I can think about every time I talk about bees is that scene from As Good as It Gets. There's a movie, and it's the one with the dude from American Pie where he's interested in a girl, and then they find out there's Sally Field's in it, but the father is the guy that's in Stepdads, and he's over the course of this thing, he's like in a wheelchair and he can't speak, and he's got a voice box and all that. Well, there's a scene where he's outside by a garden, and then their bee shows up, and next thing you know, he gets covered. He's got like the Abe Lincoln beard, and he just goes, bees. And it's the funniest thing. It's stuck in my head ever since. But no. We're going to have John Noble and Crystal Noble join us here from Roswell Seed, and we're going to be talking about the bees and getting an update there. They were on with us a few weeks ago talking about, now's this time if you're interested in becoming a beekeeper. They got bees, but now we're running up on the time where it's no more bees. So it's your 2-minute bee warning. So be listening so you can be getting bees. All right, it is 17 minutes after 9. No more stupid bee puns. Time for the weather.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore with your Pecos Valley weather. It is a tranquil weather pattern in place for most of the week, just a little roller coaster ride with temperatures. Sunny for today for Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. Highs are from the upper 60s to the low 70s, and then we're dropping off from the low to mid 30s for tonight. Sunny for tomorrow and slightly cooler. Highs from the upper 50s to near 60, and then we're right back up into the mid to upper 70s with dry weather Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore.
Thank you, Jennifer. Currently 42 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 38%. Winds are out of the north at 10 miles per hour. Kind of a tale of 2 weeks here for us this week, weather-wise anyway. Kind of a cool start to this week, and then it warms up in the back half of the week. But for today, not bad. Sunny, 67. The greatest news, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. We're not too windy today. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 28. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Cooler tomorrow. Sunny skies, highs near 60 expected with north winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tomorrow night with an overnight low of 37. South winds 5 to 15. Warming back up for Wednesday. Sunny skies, highs back near 80, 81. South winds early 5 to 10, but they're going to be picking up 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour by Wednesday afternoon. Clear Wednesday night and breezy, overnight low of 47. Sunny and warm on Thursday, 85 and windy. Friday, sunny, highs near 70, windy once again. And then for the weekend, not too bad. Sunny 76 for Saturday, sunny 86 for Sunday. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we're talking bees with Roswell Seed on the other side. Don't go away.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or a frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county, or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
Here is your chance to get the furniture you've been dreaming of. Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and it's time for a sale. We are giving additional discounts on everything in the store. That new bedroom set you've had your heart set on, a dining table for new family members, even artwork to enhance your space. It's all here right now at discounted prices. Don't miss out on this rare sales event. Come see us at Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Your destination for health is closer than you think. You don't have to drive hours for personalized care. You can get high-quality health care right here, close to home, at Artesia General Hospital. From hip, knee, and shoulder replacements to sports injuries, general surgery, pain management, and wound care, our providers will help you get back to doing the things you love right here in Southeast New Mexico. Artesia General Hospital is here for you when you need us. To learn more about some of our key service lines, visit artesiageneral.com/closer.
Edge Safety and Services LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screen. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 402 West Main Street inside the Edge Safety and Services facility. Edge Safety and Services LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
You're invited to the Arts and Crafts Fair, happening April 1st and 2nd at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center, presented by Jane and Paul Navarez. Find a wide variety of handmade arts and crafts. Over 40 artist booths will be on hand, and many food trucks will be there to satisfy any food cravings. The partner charity for this year's craft fair is the Pecos Valley Public Service Search and Rescue Team. Entry is just $2. Children 12 and under are free. The Arts and Crafts Fair, April 1st and 2nd, 10 to 5 Saturday, 10 to 4 Sunday at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Roswell Seed, John Noble in studio this morning.
Yes, I made it today.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And his better half, Crystal Noble, as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
I know how to say that. Just keep even if it's not true.
She's kind of like, what is it? You guys have the bleep button?
Yeah, the dump button.
This is my dump button. So,
John's dump button.
There's not a camera over here to watch the leg kick of, don't say that.
Of course, you got to be careful. Your dump button gets sassy, too.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to kick anything, and I don't even have the look. I can't even go, do that whole.
Right, can't get the look.
Yeah, can't get the look in anymore.
Does it back tenfold, and you're like, all right, never mind.
Yeah. Oh, she has that thing that's like, you're fat, you want to eat? Yes, dear.
Yeah, they do. The wife can hold certain things over your head sometimes.
Oh, a lot.
Win every time.
Yeah.
So. If you do want marriage help, they will be happy to tell you about that later on.
Marriage help. Keep a nice yard because you might be outside a lot.
That's right. Why do you think their house is so great? John spends a lot of time outside.
Yeah. I put in a requisition form for an air conditioning in the doghouse.
There you go.
For the animals, actually.
You remember the old cribs from MTV? Maybe we do dog houses and then do a man version, and it's like, when I get in trouble, this is my dog house.
Yeah.
And we go there.
I had to make the door bigger so I can get in a lot easier.
And the older you get, the wider the door gets.
Yeah, the wider the door gets. Trying for a remote now for it to come open.
But weirdly, the door gets smaller, shrinking-wise. It's less tall but wider.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
So. But, of course, if you're wanting to know how to make sure your yard looks great, or if you're trying to grow your garden, or if you're a commercial side and you're in the farming and ranching and need help, of course, Roswell Seed is the first name, in this area for 120, 30, 5,000 years now.
We're 125 this year.
Yeah. There was one time where only things on earth were the Great Wall of China and Roswell Seed.
More or less, yeah.
They sold the rice to plant in China.
That's right. Matter of fact, a few bushes.
Yeah.
No.
We had the fertilizer for them too. So,
but when that's just in case you're new to the area and haven't know, when it comes to your official source of growing anything and southeast New Mexico. Roswell seed is, really, after 100 and some years of trial and error, you tend to get good at it after a while.
A lot of trial, a lot of error. We have had some error, but it's funny how even people that have lived here, like most of their lives, they're like, we've never been in the store. It's like, wow, really?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
Well, welcome.
It is an icon. It's a staple. It's I imagine at some point when, in the future, they might even want to put a historical landmark on that building because it really is. It is an icon here in Roswell.
Second oldest building next to the Institute.
Really?
Yeah, the Institute was built.
They got you beat
building.
by just a little bit.
I don't know when the Institute was built. Our building was built in 1911.
You probably built the building right after when they said, you can go in. Right after when they said, hey, Nimmy needs some grass.
Yeah. Because Jim's great-grandfather, he had a store farther in town.
Yeah.
And our store, when it was built in 1911, that was the very last building.
Okay.
There was nothing south of us, and they told him, you won't make it. It's too far south. So there was there was 2 internment camps, and then the saloon.
Okay.
Way off. And
I guess they're thinking people from the internment camp didn't have a lot of growing seed needs. So.
And they're not going to,
And a lot of people don't realize that Roswell Seed, his great-grandfather was the first postal delivery of Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Man.
His great-grandfather did it. He was I think it was called the provost marshal.
Okay.
And then he was like the assistant fire chief.
Wow.
And then
how cool is that?
Delivered mail.
Yeah.
He
There's a photo in one of the Roswell history books that has a wagon and a horse, and it says Roswell Seed on the side, and he's delivering mail. It says Roswell Seed mail delivery.
Yeah. Wow.
Come a long ways to say.
Yeah, I was say that was kind of a one-stop shop. It's like, here's your seeds, and your bills, and Publishers Clearinghouse. Here you
go. If you ever been to our store, that was actually 2 stores.
Okay.
So there was a seed store on one side, and there was a grocery store on the other side.
Okay, so it's kind of a 5 and dime general store slash.
So our store actually has 2 separate addresses. It has 115 and 117.
Okay, so it's technically 2 businesses.
It's 2 businesses, yeah.
Okay.
And you could buy seed and stuff. Okay. And we, a couple of years ago, of course, I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. I was hiding in one of the warehouses and found one of the old shopping carts.
Okay.
That was in the original store. And there was 2 of them. I brought them up. And they're very, very small. And people are like, I was like, well, back then they didn't have refrigerators.
Sure.
You bought groceries every single day.
You bought a couple days worth at a time, maybe, depending if you keep it.
And so, that was kind of like one of the little iconic things you push around. I mean, they look like little kids' shopping carts, but they're
that's cool.
And they're heavier than anything.
But, well, they're built to last. That's why today they don't the plastic.
Because it was funny because Dad was all like, "Where'd you find those?" I was all like, "Oh, yeah, I couldn't lie. He already knew what I was doing, so it's not like I could really lie to him."
I was doing inventory on blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, inventory time, whatever.
That's code for slacking off.
Yeah.
But we did talk a little bit about the bees. I know last time you guys were on a couple weeks ago here, we were kind of entering into that season of if you want to get your orders in. Now we're in the 2-minute warning.
Basically,
if you want to get bees, we can get you in there, but you might want to get it done this week. Don't anything after this. We're short on supply.
Right, and how it works is call up to the store. We'll put your name down on the list. Bee packages are $250. And you get a clip queen. It's 3 pounds of bees, and when people 3 pounds of bees. 3 pounds of bees is a lot.
It's about 30,000 bees.
I'm about to say I'm guesstimating thousands of bees. I'm assuming,
And but that doesn't include.
She got a fat queen.
Yeah, she's larger. You can't say fat anymore. Right. But that doesn't include the hive or anything else. That's just the bees.
That's just bees.
Yeah, and I always kind of tell people that are starting out, this is an expensive little hobby when you start off, but it's just kind of like anything else, any other kind of hobby that you kind of deal with.
Sure. You'll make your money back if you do it.
Next thing you know, you got you do, I got like 3 or 4 hives, I don't use it, take them. Right. You got, go ahead and take it. And then all of a sudden you start looking around and you're like, I got a lot of crap. Well, I got beehives, I got smokers, I got all this stuff.
And I imagine you get a few people that went gung-ho with it.
Oh, yeah.
And then turned out, this is a job, and it takes more time than I've got available, and then you end up with their stuff.
It does require a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, once you start a hive, they are self-sufficient.
I was going to say, is it a lot of maintenance, or is it once the setup?
No, it is a lot of maintenance, but they are self-sufficient. You have to keep wax moths out. You have to keep rodents out because they're attracted to
just
the
like
honey.
crops or whatever. You have to spray or whatever you got to do to keep the predators out.
Right.
Same deal here.
Yeah. I mean, and then bee placement, the closer they are to food and water, happier they are.
Sure.
If you plan on putting it out on farmland, most of the farmers here in the valley, they welcome it.
Okay.
They love it. We're very fortunate. Our bees are on the Duffy's property.
Okay.
And Jason and James Duffy, they're amazing guys. They buy bee safe insect repellent, and when they spray
they kind of work as a neighbor.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Well, and let's face it, I'm guessing you're scratching their back because your bees are pollinating their stuff. You know what I mean?
All over the place.
And that's just a gee whiz question. Like if you buy some bees on your property, what's kind of the range that they'll go out to pollinate? 3 miles.
3 miles.
3 miles in any direction.
Okay.
But bees can only fly when the sun rises.
Okay.
And when the sun starts to set, they come back because they cannot see at night. They use the sun to directionalize what they're doing and where they're going.
So they kind of got a little bat-like thing going on there a little
More
bit.
or less.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, or unless you're
playing with flashlights in the night.
Which I told her not to. I told her, don't use the lights on the truck. She's sitting there with a flashlight, and the bees just started heading towards her. Yeah, it's kind of funny when you turn the light off and go running across the pasture, and it's night, man, the sounds that you hear. She came back, she looked like a powdered donut.
Bees.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's fun. It's really fun.
I can imagine. It's a lot of fun.
The only part that really, really sucks is obviously we have to have bee suits, and they're very thick. And if bees did this in the wintertime, it would be great.
Sure.
But no, it's in the summertime, so it's hot.
Different.
It is very hot when you have to put that bee suit on and check the bees in the summertime. But in the end, you get that.
The reward
nice,
is local
sweet
fresh honey.
And it helps allergies.
Yeah, and you start doing honey, you'd be surprised how many friends you have.
Hey,
how's it going? The first time she went out with me and we did it, and I suited her up. I wasn't that much of a meanie, but I suited her up, and I told her, I said, when I pop the top, bees are going to come out. Don't freak out. They're going to want to. They climb on you. They want to know what you are. They taste
They're curious.
You. Yeah. And started pulling it off. Well, I was a little late in getting to the extracting of the honey, and bees will make comb and honey anywhere.
They're hoarders.
Yeah, they really are. They use as much space as they can.
Okay.
And
they're just like, I'm here to do this, is what I'm doing. Yeah.
And they'd start building honey on top of the frames, which that's what lines the boxes. So I pulled the top off, and she has her matte veil and stuff on. All I hear is whoa. And I was all like, okay. So we're going through the process of getting everything. And I have this thing, they're called hive tools, is what you use. It's a little common tool. It's got a scraper on one end. So I had scraped off some of the top comb of that honey. And had honeycomb, and I was like, here, you want it? Try it. And she just, then I'm like, ew. I mean, it's a rusty spoon that you stuck in your mouth. So little did we know.
The antioxidants from the honey counteracted the rust, and we all need that iron that comes in rust.
Little did we know that, we'll say, honey badger, she's got another name, doesn't eat a lot of sugar.
Oh.
And when we were doing the processing, she was kind of the middleman, so we were handing off frames and stuff like that. Well, she was eating the honey and the cap and the comb, and like 15 minutes later, we looked over, and her eyeballs are like slapping in her head, and I'm just all like, uh-oh.
What became so good? I like honey's so good.
Oh, yeah, couldn't figure out. The dogs were always around her. The dogs were stuck together. I mean, she had honey dripping down her mouth. I'm all like, yeah, I like bees. We're going to do this again. We're going to eat. I was like, yeah,
that's
no
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, just curious, like if you get 3 pounds of bees, like, assuming you do everything correctly, what kind of production can you expect from that?
Generally, a super yields about 30 pounds of honey.
Okay, in a season?
Oh, no. Well, you can do it multiple. You can, If you have ideal conditions, you can get up to like 3 harvests.
Okay.
Generally about mid-September is I pull everything off.
Okay.
That's it. And then,
Now, do you have to replenish the bees every year, or do they? Because I know they hibernate, but bees don't live for years like other things. They don't.
Their life cycle is about 90 days.
Okay.
So as long as you have a good, strong queen, that's what you want. That's what keeps the.
So will the queen
hive
live longer than that?
She'll live anywhere between 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Depending on.
So you can buy a queen, and in theory, they will create a harvest for the 3 to 5 years, depending on the.
Now, if they don't accept the queen, they will swarm. And we had that happen last year. We actually watched them swarm right in front of us.
Oh, wow.
So if they don't like the queen, they'll book it, and they'll make their own queen.
Okay. So what happens to the other queen? Is she just ousted? And
SOL.
She dies? Is that what happens?
because she can't fly if you buy the package.
Okay.
She's got clipped wings, so she can't fly.
I got you.
So she stays put.
I didn't know if they make her a worker bee or how that works.
No, they just generally if they don't like her, they'll just kill her.
Okay.
So and then there's telltale things to look for.
It's not always good to be the queen. Just saying.
It's good, and it's not even good to be the drone because all they do is mate. But right after that, they get killed.
They're done too.
Yeah.
So when you have your hive body, that is what they live on.
Okay.
That's where they make more bees, and that's where they have their food storage. So you never want to take from that.
Gotcha.
So
that's
you have
kinda
the super, which is the top box.
Okay.
So that's what we take.
That's kind of like if you had money in a bank, that's your initial investment. You don't mess with that. You just take the money it's making.
Right.
And that's
Basically.
Same principle there with the honey. Gotcha.
And we got beekeepers, and their bees are extremely tame. You know, they don't really have to suit up, know, and stuff like that.
Well, if they're used to being handled, I imagine the more they get used, the more comfortable they are with it.
The better the environment, the happy they are.
Gotcha.
If
they come from Eden, Navasota, Texas, gorgeous. It's green, it's beautiful. After about 2 weeks here, they're ticked. They're mad.
The weather stinks. They're
like,
too
it's
hot,
it's
dry.
gross, it's disgusting.
We got to travel for food.
We set up a hive for Port Claire's.
Yes.
And the nuns there. And extremely, it's really pretty on the inside. They have flowers, and they're very self-sufficient. So they set up a hive of bees. Well, the one that's taking care of all of this called. She had some concerns. So we go down there, naturally. We always try to help out people. Even new beekeepers, I'll, make time to go either talk to them or show them when we're doing everything.
You have a passion for the thing, and you want others to succeed. So you're like, I'm going to show you the right way, so you have success and do this on your own.
Not screw up like I have. But
don't learn the hard way.
Yeah, their bees are extremely gentle.
Okay.
But they are underneath this big, beautiful tree.
Sure.
And they get scripture read to them all the time, and so they interact with people quite a bit.
It's kind of
They one of the sisters was telling us that they have scheduled times where so when you take care of this area, you take care of this area, you're designated your areas. Well, they each take 30 minutes out of their day to go sit next to the beehive and read to the bees.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And they're in
they don't have to suit up. They don't have to do anything. They just walk up to the bees, take the lid off, check the bees.
Sure. And they know because they're used to it. They know, hey, this is a good thing, not a bad thing. We don't get up in arms, and this is part of the routine.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. For our new folks out here, they're going to come to Roswell Seed and start this. When you're setting up that location for your beehive, what's ideal conditions? What should be some things you make sure you have nearby or things that you have?
Out of direct wind.
Okay.
Food and water.
Food and water.
Food and water close
Shade
by.
would be pretty decent for them.
I mean, we have people that they put them underneath trees. That works.
Okay.
So
now out in the direct sun's probably not a best idea. Maybe something with some
all
shade.
Ours are.
Okay.
Ours are, but that's also why they're not the happiest.
Yeah. You just want to try to take care of it. It's a living animal.
Absolutely,
it's so you try to take care of it as best you can. Don't really suggest putting it in the corner of like your fence because it does get extremely hot. Most people don't realize it. Or putting it up against like a concrete building.
So a place that has some flow through and some area where they can get
like
some
that.
cool down
and,
temperatures.
They'll be fine.
Some place where a building or something wouldn't heat it up more unnecessarily with sun direct and all that.
But I mean, you figure that, they found honey in Cleopatra's tomb that was edible. And
it never goes bad.
It never goes bad as long as you don't mix it with anything. So, I mean, if anybody's seen the pictures of that, there's really no trees out there. So the bees were out in the wide open no matter what.
But I'm just thinking, like, if you want to make them happy, give them a little bit of an environment. Give them some plant life nearby to
There are special
eat and to
flowers that bees thrive on.
Okay.
There are things that they don't really like to pollinate, but they will if that's their only source.
Okay.
If you provide them the things that they like that grow here naturally, or that do well here, your honey will be exquisite.
Okay.
The Mexican flower, sunflower looking one. What's that one called?
Maximilian? No.
Yeah, Maximilian.
Okay. Is that one of the
That is one of the
favorites?
flowers. And ironically, there's a plant called catnip. It's not like the catnip.
Different product, same name.
Yes.
It's like milkweed.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
and
actually a milkweed
they
plant.
Love it.
And that's kind of one of their go-tos as well, too.
There's a tree, and I'm going to get it, and it's called the black locust.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this tree is a kind of like an elm tree. Once it gets so big, it sheds pods. Trees pop up everywhere.
Okay. So it's kind of a hardy plant.
It is a very hardy plant, but they grow over 100 feet tall.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're talking like Oregon forest tree
We're
size
We're
here.
talking that, we're scaring the farmer where we have our... Because she's coming up with all these great ideas, and he's just like, no.
Okay, so he said I could plant one tree, but I have to do it on the far way back corner.
Yeah.
But, one, it'll provide some shade for them.
Sure.
It'll provide shade for the deers. They're feeding the deer out there, too, now.
Oh, God.
So...
She's going to create her own habitat.
She wanted to go pet a deer the other night. We went out there, and we were checking on the bees and stuff, and there's a huge herd out there.
Yeah.
And she was like, ooh. She's like, you know what?
We all know she is an animal lover. I mean,
I took her to a dairy once, and she wanted to go pet one of the dairy cows. That didn't work out too well.
I did too when I was a kid, and I ended up with crap all over my hands.
Okay, so as a kid, I was terrified of cows because their tongues are like as long as my arm.
They're huge.
They're huge.
Well, of course, and then moving and getting to live with a cow, they're not that bad.
But think of the damage I could do if I had 4 stomachs. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. A buffet would never be the same.
I'm so envious of that. I'm so envious. Why can't I have 4 stomachs?
Yeah.
But, yes, I wanted to pet the cow, and I walked up to the fence, and they all took off, and I was so hurt. Man, I was so hurt.
They weren't down with your...
I was laughing my butt off. I thought it was great. I already knew what was coming.
But that's why you guys live in the country. You get to do that, and you get to have your, and that's why your dogs and everybody. It's a fun little thing. And the bees are just another level of that out at the ranch there.
But a lot of people do not realize if we lose our population of bees, we lose a lot of things that we benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a garden, they will pollinate your garden.
I'm about to say, you got it's cheap labor right there that you got right there
very
for free,
cheap.
and I would imagine. I know Roswell Seed's got lots of things to help your gardens look good, but they can't match Mother Nature.
No, we can't.
And the bees.
We've tried. Didn't work out. That was that trial and error.
Yeah.
That's well. Yeah. But no, I mean, not just, you get pollination, you get the sweet stuff. If you render down the beeswax, people make candles. So
I'll say, there's a lot of other uses besides honey there, too.
I have like a whole paper on it. I mean, it doesn't cure like freckles or height or anything. But other than that, there's a lot of stuff you can mix with it.
Absolutely.
And, a lot of people, they come in. A lot of our woodworkers, guys, that do real fine cabinetry work, they come in and get the beeswax because they put it on their saw blades and the wood doesn't splinter. And they always tell you to put beeswax on a screw or a nail if you're driving in, it won't split the wood. That's actually true. I ate crow that day.
I wonder if, surfers and all that, I know they use wax on the boards. I wonder I imagine it's a composite now, but I wonder if they started off with a beeswax or something like that.
Yeah, because beeswax is waterproof, but you will stick. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, learned that the hard way.
Yeah, get beeswax in your hair one time. It was really a lot of fun.
Way worse than peanut butter.
Yeah,
or
way
gum.
worse. Yeah.
We were making candles. I was trying to hustle.
Yeah.
Were you doing the old school, like I remember back in Scouts where they teach us to make candles and you had the wax and it was all heated up and you're just basically dipping the wick back and forth, back and forth.
She got molds. Yeah, we just poured in the molds, but doing like the colors and the scents and stuff like that. And yeah, we first started out doing it, and I deal in seed. I help you grow it or kill it, one or the other. You know, I'm not a candle guy,
right? That's
so we were learning.
That.
I was, kind of look at I studied. No, I didn't. I just kind of looked through the pictures and was like, oh yeah,
sure.
So started doing this stuff, and I'd ordered some scents, and of course, I'm a Marine, so we don't play nice. So I ordered like blueberry pie and cheesecake scent, and I made all these little candles just to see how it would burn and what it would smell like.
Sure.
And I'd light them all, and I'd put them all in the office, and I'd leave. And like 30 minutes later, come back, and all you can hear all these stomachs graggling. And I'm all like, what? I'm like, put those things out. No. So yeah, you can have fun with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, restaurants, that's the move right there.
Yeah.
Just start putting these scented candles. The next thing you know, you see your sales go up. You wonder why.
And most people don't realize, but beeswax candles, only candles that you can burn in a church.
Really?
Yeah, because it doesn't emit smoke.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that until the sisters told us.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's all. Like the candles that you see in like all the churches.
Yeah.
They're all beeswax candles because they don't emit smoke.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, but beeswax is flammable. Learn that one the hard way.
It will catch on fire.
Yeah, it will catch on fire.
But it's not smoky.
Yeah, kind of did that first time rendering beeswax and had a little accident. Blew the lid right off of this thing like 20 feet in the air. It looked like napalm. It was pretty cool.
Bees.
Yeah.
When you're rendering down the beeswax, it is a long process because the purer you want the wax, the more you have to render it.
Gotcha.
So you render it, let it sit.
So it's probably
cut
like
the impurities off, redo it, cut the impurities off, redo it, cut the impurities off. You can actually get beeswax. It's naturally a golden yellow color. You can actually get it to almost white.
Oh wow!
But
so it's
that
almost
takes
like
a lot of rendering.
distilling whiskey or something. Probably a lot of the same.
Well, less than or more than whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, whiskey you just
but same kind of dedication to it.
Yeah. But I mean, anybody that knows Jim Gill knows that he doesn't get excited, and it's way worse since I showed up like 10 years ago. Because he just comes out and he just looks and he just turns around and goes back inside, doing something, blew something up or whatever.
Hey, it's trial and error. Part of life.
But he is not innocent himself. He has his own little, hey, let's try this.
Yeah. Dad's an engineer. That's what he went to college for. So he engineers this stuff.
So he's blown up a few things himself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the potato gun was not a good idea.
I was going to say. Apple, not far from tree.
Yeah.
Here. It's just,
I've been trying now for 5 years. We've been trying to build a trebuchet.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And no. Well, we actually went and found out from the city, it's legal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You don't even need a permit for it.
Wow.
Yeah. And so,
odd, but okay.
Most people, because we were doing that because there is the Chavez County Giant Pumpkin Growers Association.
I'm very familiar. And Jim Gill has been talking smack and participating in that for many moons.
That's part of it. When you look at the bylaws, it is. And I believe Terry Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that owns Terry's Cafe right there by Cell Barn. So he's won that award 3 years in a row.
So he's like the reigning champ.
Oh yeah, he's great at it. But they were like, well, what do we do? And so we came up with the idea, we'll build a trebuchet and we could launch these pumpkins and just have fun with them or whatever.
That's a strong trebuchet because those are like 300-400 pound pumpkins, aren't they?
But we're Roswell Seed. I mean, you go big or go home. Man. I mean,
Oh, that trebuchet's crying when they pick that thing
up. But we talked to a couple of local farmers, and they're, we got the land, launch them. Yeah.
So you want to launch a 400 pound pumpkin across it? Yeah, I'm in.
One, they just want to see if it's going to work.
Right. Nothing else. I just want to see what blows up.
Anybody who's bad at shooting skeet, that would be the best thing to do. Be like, skeet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, now if you miss that,
you're in a lot of trouble.
Then perhaps pick up a different sport.
Well, one of the he wanted to do it because he was wanting to plant pumpkins, and like you said, well, if it blows up and shatters, it's going to throw seed. I don't have to plant. And we were like, that's a good idea. we're gonna go off. I mean, we had this whole thing, and trying to pitch this idea to Dad. Dad's like, no. Yeah, it's like no. Then we got to you got to look past the potato gun. You gotta look.
I just got this image of everyone walking in the house just covered in pumpkin guts. And you're like,
actually, yeah.
And the backyard scene, just walk backyard scene, they're just covered in pumpkin guts and just.
Oh, yeah.
Spaghetti hair.
Right.
Yeah, it's just that trial and error. You got to, But it's good. I mean, it'd be great fertilizer. It's all natural.
Exactly. Yeah.
People come in all the
Beginning
time.
of your compost.
I'm about to say, this is composting level 10 right here.
Oh, yeah. And generally, when people, they don't throw them away.
Mm-hmm.
They take them down to the zoo and they let the animals have them.
Absolutely, yeah. Feed them as enrichment stuff. Yeah.
And the animals, they love it and stuff. And yeah.
Well, I don't know how many times I see that a lot, especially around the Halloween holiday, where you have your pumpkins, and then instead of just throwing them in the trash or something, especially if you live out in the country, you just throw them up against a tree or something. The deer will get them eventually. You know what I mean? It's like don't throw them in the trash. Just put them up that tree and let the deer or someone feed off of them.
Yeah, they eat off of it.
Yeah.
And if you're like Benny Wooten, and who does the Roswell Livestock auction, he had
most really recognizable voice in town. Probably.
Yeah, he has one. He had really nice pumpkin one year. Well, he brought it down. It was during COVID, so we weren't having normally we have this like dinner and everything that goes on, and then we weigh all the pumpkins and they champion or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And we
couldn't do it this year, but he brought it down because he was getting a weight on his no matter what. And can you guys hold on to it for us? Yeah, we'll hold on to it for you. Big deal. Well, it ended up rotting and falling apart. Well, he wanted the seeds out of it because naturally it was a good pumpkin.
Exactly.
So the seeds, old farm trick. That's why we clean seeds.
The lineage of those seeds are heavy, so we eat them. Yeah.
And he was just he was heartbroken. We were like, we're sorry. Oh, I forgot about it. I told him, I said, hey, I got some seeds for sale. They came out of a really nice pumpkin. And he's just sitting there looking at it. I was like, no.
You should just have all been eating pie when he walked in.
Oh, yeah, that would have been great. Just give him a pumpkin pie. Hey, here's your pumpkin that you wanted.
Here's what's left.
Yeah. I wish I would have thought of that. I would have put it on a pallet and put it in his truck.
Then hand him one can of whipped cream. Here you go.
Yeah. Because, most people, they don't realize, I think we had a 580-pound pumpkin one year. We almost broke the 600-pound mark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And when we do it, it's like kind of official. We take our scale down, which is calibrated by the state. And then Candy Azell, she comes down, so she's our official state representative. And we weigh them up. And it's just fun. Just something simple, something easy.
And it's tradition now at this point. And you kind of know. And to be honest, when I think of fair season, one of the top 3-4 things I think of is that pumpkin contest.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, but I'm like, I'm going into the education building and see what kind of gelatinous pumpkins they turned out this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it.
And then it just gives them a chance to
they all look like
cut up.
They all look like those pumpkins all look like those people from those like 1,000-Pound Sisters or those shows.
Yeah, kind of flat
TLC,
rounded over. Yeah.
Where they exceed the frame of their body and they just start melting into this other shape.
Because constantly, you got the guys that come in. Okay, what do I spray on it to kill the weeds? But don't kill the pumpkin. Or what? Best fertilizer and all this. And it's like, okay, we'll help out and stuff.
But not giving you the good secrets because we got to win the pumpkin.
Yeah. But they're just the same as everybody else that comes in and asks.
It's sure.
It's hey, what do I do about this? Well, yeah, okay.
Well,
it's weed season, so we understand what's going on.
Well, and let's face it. I imagine, there's a lot of things you can do to be proactive and make sure it happens right. But a lot of it's luck too. It's just. Was the water plentiful this year? How was the soil? It is a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Sometimes the environment worked perfectly, and you got a bigger pumpkin. This year, it's like, we had some colder days, and it didn't. It didn't. It's just life and farming. That's how it works.
I'd be out there with the UV light.
Yeah.
Like the suntan thing.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't realize that. We always come up with, I read it on the internet. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's just mere guideline. Our area is an anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
Your soil changes 7 different times from north end town, south end.
Water 5. I can imagine.
If you live on the west side of town, you're dealing with caliche and rocks. If you're living on the east side of town, you're dealing with 500 years of cow crap.
And I imagine with the underwater aquifers and everything is here, that's how all that traveled and moved and everything. So, the part that makes Roswell great in terms of water, we don't deal with the issues that other parts of the state deal with.
Right.
But with that creates some of that uniqueness you're talking about. That's why our soil is so from one end of the map to the other on, those things. Like if you're, for most of us, it don't matter a hill of beans if you're not trying to do anything with it. But
Right.
if you're a farmer or a rancher in the industry and you're like, I need the best place to grow alfalfa, you're going to want to pay attention very quickly on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I would attribute probably the aquifers and everything, the water, the thing that makes it a blessing here is kind of also creating that diversity of soil a little bit here.
And everybody, how do you know so much? Well, we listen to our customers.
Sure.
You're growing something, and then you come back and you give me feedback on it. Oh, yeah, it did great. She's somewhere. No, it didn't do worth it. Okay, so there's something going on.
And
north half versus south half or whatever.
Absolutely. And after 100 plus years of customers, that's the best database you can ever find, Forget the internet. You've got 100 plus years of experience on this patch of dirt talking about it with people that have been doing with it for 100 plus years.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're not going to find better educated people on this soil than right there.
Yeah,
because they just by default have been here.
Dad alone has like 60 something years.
Yeah.
He was working down there when he was like, I think 9.
They can learn so much just by being there, not to mention, the years of training, all
and
the
learning
stuff,
from his
experience.
grandfather, from his father.
Just
from
standing in the room for that long, some of it's going to absorb onto you, let alone when you actually pursue and seek it.
Because I'm the world's worst. I mean, you put a book, open it up, and I'm looking at it going... And then I'll go to my phone and be like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
So-and-so, hey, you remember when you did, oh, yeah. What happened? Oh, yeah, okay. And I'm like...
And that's kind of, and I like that way too. Yeah, you can give me a set of instructions, I can follow and figure them out, but I absorb and retain it better when I'm physically, okay, you need to do this. All right, then what? This.
Yeah.
And that's a hands-on.
Is that a military thing?
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Okay.
It's by design. They train you that way.
So. You ever look at instructions on things? You can tell between if a man wrote it or a woman.
Yeah, because there's pictures.
If it's pictures, a man wrote it. If it's all words, a woman wrote it.
Yeah.
So,
But if you're looking for bees or you want to get into beekeeping,
Absolutely. Anything like that, or if you're just regular garden
Curious.
variety planting, seeding, grass growing, all that.
This is weed time.
It is spring.
We got you covered. I mean, weeds in the grasses, weed in your garden, whatever.
Okay, real quick. Oh, we're almost out of time, but real quick. If someone wants to start a garden this season, what would you recommend they start looking at as far as veggies and all that? The types of things they should keep grabbing?
Everything right now.
Okay.
You should have had your tomatoes and peppers started a little early.
Okay.
For the people that are listening, April 1, we will have our tomato and pepper starts out.
Okay.
For the other people listening, around April 1st, we should have the geraniums out. We get calls every day, which I understand.
Sure.
It's warm out. Everybody wants it. I'm the same way. Don't feel bad.
Sure.
I'm like,
don't plant it until after April 15th.
Despite what the weather's telling you, it's still too early.
We had a freeze the night before last. We are in spring,
Sure.
in New Mexico. You leave in a jacket, come home in shorts, and then the next morning you leave in shorts and come home in a jacket.
Sure. Well, I mean, you look at this week. It's going to be 60s one part of the week and 80s by the end of it. So, yeah.
So we're telling everybody to call.
Gotcha.
Just call the store. We'll tell you, yes, we have them out. No, we don't have them out yet. If you want to pick up seeds, now's the time. Go ahead. Come in. And, most people don't realize we germinate our seeds every single year. Industry standards, they're not Dad's standards. And a lot of people always ask, I'm not a guild. No, but I call Dad because I respect that man that much.
Sure.
His standard of seed is way above what industry standard is. If the seeds don't germinate above like a 78, they're gone.
Gotcha.
Where industry standard might be 52, he doesn't play
so
that.
what's acceptable for the government standard or industry standard is not his standard.
No.
He's like, that won't cut it here.
Yeah.
Hence another reason why Roswell Seed's been around for 100
And if you
plus
try to cut that corner, trust me, Mr. Gill doesn't say very much, but when he lays into you, it's a pain. I've had my butt chewed by the best.
That's actually that's a compliment. That's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Deadline to order bees is April 1st.
Okay, so you got this week to get her done.
Yeah,
basically.
so Saturday is deadline because we have to give the lovely people in Navasota enough time to get everything ready.
Sure.
Because when we go up there, we have to load X amount of packages of bees, and then we have to stop off on the way and make deliveries and drop offs, and then come back here so everybody can pick up on the morning of Saturday the 15th.
Okay.
8 a.m. starts the time to pick up.
All right. But this is your last week to order.
This is the last week to order.
Yeah.
If you do not have a beehive and you need a beehive and
Please.
you need the
Call.
you need the everything's, come down, call. Either get one ordered, get one picked up, because you have to paint your beehive. You cannot just stick it out brown wood.
Okay. And in 2 weeks here, you're going to have bees.
And
So
you
it's gotta be ready
cannot
for 2
paint
weeks.
it with the bees in it. So you need to get it painted,
Gotcha.
dried, set in its location where you want it, and ready. So that way when you pick up your bees, all you are doing is
Transporting them to your new home, basically.
And you can make the beehive pretty. Our beehives are pretty.
Yes. Okay.
Put
So
your personal stamp
I
on it.
paint like a kindergartner, and I don't care. But the bees like it, and bees can actually recognize symbols to know what hive is theirs. If you have an X on it, they know that that's theirs. If you have home written on it, they know that that's theirs. They recognize it.
Okay.
Orange and black do not. I cannot emphasize enough. No orange and no black.
No Bulldog fans, huh? No, we're teaching
No,
Bulldog
because
fans.
it represents a hornet.
Ah.
And bees go into attack mode.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Somebody went to go check bees in black pants.
Orange shirt. He went in an orange shirt and I went in black